Chapter 495. Everyone from the Green Cloud gang stood in place, not daring to act rashly. They were hoping that the gang leader would immediately order them to leave. The man in green was hesitating on what to do next. When he was on the ground, he thought that the ice hole was naturally formed, so he went down directly. It would be difficult to go up again. Now that he thought about it, he felt that it was more likely to be caused by the black-clothed youth. He was hesitating. Should he bring everyone out of here, or should he observe the situation first? At the same time, another group of people from an unknown power was completely different. An eagle-faced man who seemed to be the leader was the one who Ji sensed was at the peak of the second level of the Spirit Profound realm. He observed the surrounding situation and immediately determined that the black-clothed youth who came out of nowhere took all the treasures here. Kid, you should understand that a man's wealth is his own ruin, right? The eagle-faced man said to Ji in a threatening tone. Oh no. Hearing this, the man in green from the Green Cloud gang immediately cursed in his heart. He forgot to remind those guys from the Chaotian gang not to provoke the black-clothed youth. Chaotianing, shut up. The man in green immediately sent a message to the gang leader of the Chaotian gang, Chaotianing. What? Hearing such an anxious voice, Chaotianing was slightly stunned. Don't provoke that black-clothed youth. The man in green sent another message. Su Yinqing, don't play tricks here. I'll give you a portion of the treasures later. Chaotianing was clearly unhappy. He thought that Su Yinqing was worried that he would take all the treasures on the black-clothed youth, so she deliberately said those strange words. After all, what could such an ordinary youth do to him? Su Yinqing was anxious to death. This Chaotianing was really brainless. Just as she was about to send another message, the black-clothed youth suddenly spoke again. You should have treasure maps on you, right? Ji said. So what if we do? Chaotianing said coldly. Kid, I advise you to quickly hand over the treasures, or else I'll take action. It's over. At this moment, Su Yinqing was in complete despair. Now that Chaotianing had offended that black-clothed youth, the entire Chaotian gang would probably be annihilated. Although the life and death of the Chaotian faction had nothing to do with him, the main thing was that it might affect the Green Cloud faction. Hand over the treasure map, and I can let you live. Ji said calmly. Chaotianing almost thought that he had misheard. This brat actually dared to say such words in front of him? Brat, I think you're tired of living. Chaotianing's expression darkened. Sect leader, don't waste your breath on that brat. Just kill him and take his treasures. That's right. I don't know how that brat found this place. He actually got the treasure first. Fortunately, we came in time. Otherwise, this brat would have taken advantage of us. The rest of the Chaotian faction members were also clamoring. It was very obvious that they did not put the black-clothed youth in their eyes. On the other hand, Su Yinqing from the Green Cloud gang was pleasantly surprised. Our Green Cloud gang will hand over the treasure map, Su Yinqing immediately said in a low voice. She also took out the treasure map from the storage ring and held it in her hands. The deputy sect leader, the gray-robed elder, was also very happy. This time, their Green Cloud gang could save their lives. When the group of Chaotian faction members heard Su Yinqing's words and saw her attitude, they all suspected that the sect leader of the Green Cloud gang was stupid. Sect leader Su, is there something wrong with you? Chaotianing could not help but ask Su Yinqing. It was fine that Su Yinqing wanted to stop him from making a move on the black-clothed youth, but now she obediently handed over the treasure map to the black-clothed youth. Even if the treasure map was no longer useful, it was still too abnormal. He felt that this Su Yinqing might have gone crazy. Su Yinqing was too lazy to pay attention to that Chaotianing. Right now, she did not want to have anything to do with this idiot. The more she distanced herself from him, the better. This idiot was courting death. She would regret it later. Su Yinqing could only try her best to please the black-clothed youth and save the lives of the Green Cloud gang members. As for the life and death of Chaotianing and the Chaotian faction, it had nothing to do with her. Very good. All of you stand still. Ji nodded slightly to Su Yinqing and said, I will solve a small problem first. The small problem he was talking about was naturally the other force that did not obey him. Hearing the black-clothed youth's words, Su Yunqing's heart could not help but thump. It was obvious that this black-clothed youth was going to make a move on those people from the Chaotian faction. Before it started, she had already predicted what the outcome would be. Chapter 496. At this time, Chao Tianying and the Chaotian gang had not realized the severity of the situation. Ji wanted to use his Earth-rank sword technique to kill these guys, but he thought about the power of the Earth-rank sword technique, especially the high temperature, which could easily melt the surrounding ice. When the situation became chaotic, it would be troublesome to get the Clear Sky Gang's treasure map. He might as well go and get it now. Ding! Host has used the Earth-ranked upper-class Shadowless Lightning Flash. Shadowless Lightning Flash has gained 999 times experience points. Ji used Figure Flashed and snatched the treasure map from Su Yunqing's hand. At the same time, he left behind a sentence. "You can leave now." Hearing this voice, Su Yunqing suddenly realized that the treasure map in his hand had been taken away by the black-clothed youth. He was stunned for a moment, then immediately ordered the people behind him, "Let's go." The Clear Sky Gang reacted one after another and used their movement techniques to climb up. At the same time, the Azure Streak sword appeared in Jiyu's hand. Ding! Host used Brilliant Sun in the Sky second style. Brilliant Sun in the Sky second style gained 999 times experience. Ding! Host used 80% Sword Dao True Meaning. 80% Sword Dao True Meaning gained 999 times experience. In almost an instant, Jiyu had already slashed out a golden sword wave. Like a stormy sea, it swallowed the Clear Sky Gang. In this gloomy ice cellar, a dazzling golden light suddenly flashed, dazzling the Clear Sky Gang. Most of them were swallowed up before they realized what was happening. Only Chao Tianying and the other four who were at the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm survived. Even so, the four of them were heavily injured. Only Chao Tianying's situation was better, but he was not optimistic. His face was pale. At this moment, he realized that his subordinates were almost all dead. Only then did he realize that he had provoked a monster. At the same time, the ice layer above was melting quickly. However, Jiyu had profound qi protecting his body, so the melting water could not touch him at all. Ding! Host used Brilliant Sun in the Sky second style. Brilliant Sun in the Sky second style gained 999 times experience. Ding! Host has activated 80% Sword Dao True Meaning. 80% Sword Dao True Meaning has been increased by 999 times experience. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the greater perfection stage of the Earth rank medium level sword technique, Brilliant Sun in the Sky, second style. Ding! It has been detected that the second style of the Brilliant Sun in the Sky has reached perfection. Automatically upgraded to the third style of the superior Earth-ranked sword technique, Brilliant Sun in the Sky. Gee, you didn't give the 5 people who were still alive a chance to catch their breaths. She used her sword technique again. At the same time, there was a breakthrough in his swordsmanship, and it advanced to the superior Earth-rank Brilliant Sun in the Sky, third style. Just as the 4 first-level Spirit Profound Realm cultivators from Chaotian faction were about to take a healing pill to alleviate their heavy injuries, they saw the same golden sword wave as the one before. Their eyes were filled with despair and fear. No! The sword wave swept over, swallowing these screams in an instant. Chao Tianying subconsciously used a defensive mystic skill to resist. But how could Chao Tianying's flustered actions be able to block it? Chao Tianying's defensive mystic skill shattered like tofu. After a while, his injuries worsened. His skin and flesh were lacerated, and there were burn marks all over his body. In particular, his internal organs were almost unable to hold on any longer. You? Who exactly are you? Chao Tianying spat out a mouthful of blood and said weakly, "There's no need for you to know." Jiyu's expression was indifferent. Ding! Host has used the superior Earth-ranked Shadowless Thunder Flash. Shadowless Thunder Flash has gained 999 times experience. Before he finished speaking, he had already appeared in front of Chao Tianying. Ding! Host has used the brilliant sun in the sky, third style. Brilliant sun in the sky, third style has gained 999 times experience. Ding! Host has activated 80% Sword Dao True Meaning. 80% Sword Dao True Meaning has gained 999 times experience. Following that, he instantly released a sword and killed Chao Tianying. At the same time, the surrounding ice layer was also melting at a very fast speed. After a while, the entire ice cellar would be filled up. Jiyu quickly snatched the storage ring from Chao Tianying's hand. Ding! Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold grade spiritual power has gained experience, won by 999 times. He immediately opened the storage ring to take a look. Indeed, the fourth treasure map was inside. As for the storage rings of the others, he did not have time to look for them because the ice layer above was collapsing and melting. The most important thing right now was to hurry and open that door. Ding! Host has used the superior Earth-ranked Shadowless Thunderflash. Shadowless Thunderflash has gained 999 times experience. Jiyu held Xiao Gu's hand and used her movement technique to arrive in front of the door. She took out all 4 pieces of the treasure map and placed them in the 4 grooves of the door in front of her. At this moment, the Xian Qi in this door started to flow restlessly. Chapter 497. On the other side, before the ice layer began to melt, the Green Cloud Gang's leader, Su Yunxing, and the gray-robed elder had already come out of the ice cave. In the next second, Su Yunxing was the first to feel the ice layer below, shaking faintly. He immediately realized that the situation was not good. "Come up quickly!" Su Yunxing hurriedly shouted to his subordinates, who had not come out yet. The Green Cloud Gang members hurriedly increased their speed and used all their strength to climb out of the ice cave. When the last person came up, the layer of ice on the ground had already begun to collapse. "Spread out quickly." Seeing this, Su Yunxing immediately ordered. Under Su Yunxing's order, the Green Cloud Gang members scattered in all directions. In a short while, the ice layer had completely collapsed. The Green Cloud Gang members' hearts raced, and they felt some lingering fear. This is probably caused by that black-robed young man. Yes, those people from the Chaotian gang should not be able to come up. The gray-robed elder and Su Yunxing both stared blankly at the ground below. With such momentum, even if the Chaotian gang was not completely wiped out, there would not be many people left alive. At this moment, Su Yunxing was especially glad that he had always avoided becoming enemies with the black-robed young man. Otherwise, their Green Cloud gang would only end up worse than the Chaotian gang. Moreover, it was all thanks to that black-robed young man. Their Green Cloud gang lacked 2 powerful competitors, the Blackwater gang and the Chaotian gang. At the same time, Ji had already used the 4 treasure maps to open the door. However, what appeared before him was actually a teleportation circle. Ding! The host has taken a look at the 7th grade teleportation circle, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully comprehending the 7th grade teleportation circle. Ji was instantly shocked. This was actually a 7th grade teleportation circle. This was the first time he had seen a 7th grade teleportation circle. Could it be that the place that this 7th grade teleportation circle could teleport to was the place where the treasure was hidden? Ji was already somewhat impatient to go in and take a look. Moreover, this ice cave had already been flooded by snow. He immediately held Xiao Gu's hand and walked into the teleportation circle. At this moment, Ji Yu's eyes were in a daze. In the next moment, he and Xiao Gu appeared in an illusory space. The surroundings were pure white, as if there was no end in sight. Meanwhile, in front of Ji Yu and Xiao Gu, there was only a spiritual projection. Other than that, there was nothing else. It's been 10,000 years. Finally, someone has come. The voice was a little hazy, and it was hard to tell whether it was a man or a woman. "Who are you?" Ji Yu had a vigilant look in her eyes. This was because he couldn't see through the soul phantom in front of him at all. Ding. Host has used purple glazed pupil. Purple glazed pupil experience gained. 1*999x. Even with the help of the amethyst eyes, he still couldn't see through it. Jiyu, this thing is very strong. At this moment, Xiao Gu's voice sounded from the depths of Jiyu's mind. Jiyu immediately became more cautious. Even Xiao Gu felt apprehension towards this soul projection. Don't be so nervous. I won't harm you. The soul phantom spoke again. So, why did you trick us into coming here? Jiyu asked directly. In this space, apart from the soul phantom in front of them, there were no treasures at all. It was obvious that she had been tricked. There were no treasures hidden in this space at all. I'm not tricking you. Rather, my remnant soul is the treasure here. Remnant soul? This was slightly different from Jiyu's guess. He originally thought that this soul phantom was the soul of some super expert. He didn't expect it to be a remnant soul. A remnant soul, simply put, was a damaged soul. This was only a damaged soul, but could make Xiao Gu feel apprehensive. Then, if it was a complete soul, how powerful would it be? And when it was alive, thinking of this, Jiyu didn't dare to continue thinking about it. Could it be that you have some benefits for me? Jiyu still maintained her vigilance and asked. Of course there are benefits, but you need to agree to a condition of mine. What condition? Jiyu asked. Let me live in your body. Hearing this condition of the soul phantom, Jiyu immediately frowned. This remnant soul wanted to live in his body. To put it bluntly, it wanted to live in his soul. Not to mention whether it could successfully live in his body under the obstruction of the system. If it succeeded, he would be at risk of being possessed. How could he agree to such a condition? But just as Jiyu was about to speak, the soul phantom said, the method is very simple. As long as you make this soul rope recognize you as its master, then I will enter this soul rope. That's all. At this moment, a red string appeared in Jiyu's hand out of thin air. He had just glanced at it when the system's notification sounded in his mind. Ding. Host has taken a look at the soul rope, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding. Congratulations to Host. You have successfully comprehended the soul rope. At this moment, Jiyu not only knew what this soul rope was, but he also knew how to make this soul rope recognize him as its master. Chapter 498. If Jiyu said that this soul rope had successfully recognized him as its master, then the remnant soul would be able to use the soul rope to reside in his body. There was no need for it to enter his soul. However, the main question was what exactly this remnant soul wanted to do. So, what is the purpose of you residing in my body, and what are the benefits? Jiyu asked. The remnant soul said, the purpose is naturally to leave this place. As for the benefits, I am your greatest benefit. Jiyu was speechless. He still didn't know what was going on with this remnant soul. What kind of benefit was this? The remnant soul seemed to know what Jiyu was thinking. It then said, whether you believe me or not, if you don't agree to my conditions, you won't be able to leave this place. Because I can control that teleportation formation at will. Think about it carefully. Hearing the remnant soul's words, Jiyu couldn't help but frown, because he could feel that the teleportation formation was indeed in a closed state. Let's talk about it in detail first. What benefits do you have for me? Jiyu could only ask. For example, that friend beside you is a Calamity Bone Dragon, right? She's about to break through to the 6th stage demonic power. I can help her. The remnant soul said. About to break through? Jiyu looked at Xiao Gu in surprise. Also, this remnant soul could tell that Xiao Gu's original body was a Calamity Bone Dragon. He had never told this remnant soul before. Yes, Xiao Gu nodded. This breakthrough to the 6th stage demonic power will bring quite a bit of danger to your friend. The remnant soul continued. Is that true? Jiyu immediately asked Xiao Gu. Yes, Xiao Gu nodded again. At this moment, Xiao Gu's expression was somewhat abnormal. With Jiyu's understanding of Xiao Gu, if Xiao Gu really showed such an expression, then something very serious was definitely going to happen. Jiyu pondered for a moment, then said seriously to the remnant soul, If you really help her, I will agree to your conditions. He had to ensure little Gu's safety. After all, he had established a soul contract with Xiao Gu. Once one of them was in mortal danger, the other would also have to suffer. Not only that, but he had also gradually begun to view Xiao Gu as his family. Even if there was no such thing as a soul contract, it was impossible for him to sit idly by and do nothing about little Gu's matter. Sure, without any hesitation, the shadow agreed decisively. In about half a day, your friend will break through on her own. By then, I will help her overcome the difficulty. Then I'll wait for half a day. Ji said. He planned to wait in this space for half a day. He wouldn't believe it so easily. Only after that remnant soul successfully helped Xiao Gu overcome this crisis would he agree to the other party's conditions to prevent the other party from betraying him. Next, Ji began to cultivate the Heaven Splitter. Ding! The host has read the third volume of the Sky Splitter for 1 minute. The experience gained for the third level of the Sky Splitter is 1*999x. Ding! The host has read the third volume of the Sky Splitter for 1 minute. The experience gained for the third level of the Sky Splitter is 1*999x. During this period of time, the remnant soul didn't disturb Ji-Yu. About half a day later, at this moment, Ji-Yu suddenly felt an extremely powerful demonic power forming in the space, and it was getting stronger and stronger. He immediately stopped cultivating because it was very likely that Xiao Gu was about to break through. It seems that you also felt it. The remnant soul spoke at this moment. But during the period when your friend breaks through to the 6th stage, you have to leave this place temporarily. Why? Ji-Yu is obviously unwilling. Because the powerful demonic power produced by your friend's breakthrough can tear you apart at any time. The remnant soul said, I don't want you to die here. Ji-Yu fell into a short period of contemplation. Then, he continued, Aren't you afraid that I'll take this opportunity to escape? I feel that you can't abandon your friend. After all, didn't you establish a soul contract with her? The remnant soul said. Hearing this, Ji-Yu's pupils shrank. Even a matter of the soul contract was seen through by the other party. Ji-Yu, just listen to this guy and leave this place first. At this moment, Xiao Gu suppressed the reluctance in her heart and said to Ji-Yu. Although she didn't want to be separated from Ji-Yu, she also felt the terrifying power that was about to be produced in her body. If Ji-Yu continued to stay in this space, it would indeed be dangerous. She definitely didn't want to see Ji-Yu get hurt because of her. Okay, since even Xiao Gu said so, Ji-Yu didn't have anything to say. I've already reopened the teleportation formation. You can directly teleport out. The remnant soul said, After you leave, I'll close the teleportation formation. When your friend successfully breaks through to the 6th stage, I'll reopen the teleportation formation. Ji-Yu didn't say anything else. Seeing that the teleportation circle had already appeared behind him, he walked towards it. Chapter 499. When he walked into the teleportation circle, Ji-Yu released his profound qi to surround himself to prevent himself from being soaked by the melted ice. After a while, the scene in front of him changed. When he opened his eyes again, he was back in the ice cellar filled with melted snow. Little Gu, nothing must happen to you. Ji-Yu looked at the 7th grade teleportation circle in front of him, praying silently in his heart. Next, he could only cultivate while keeping an eye out for the teleportation circle to open again. Ding! Host has read the 3rd volume of Split the Heavens for 1 minute. The experience gained from the 3rd level of Split the Heavens, 1/999 times. Ding! Host has read the 3rd volume of Split the Heavens for 1 minute. The experience gained from the 3rd level of Split the Heavens, 1/999 times. Time slowly passed. 2 to 3 days had already passed. Ji-Yu's physique broke through again, reaching the 4th grade of the mystic body. The teleportation circle in front of him still had no movement. Ji-Yu felt that every minute and second that passed was unbearable, because he had no way of knowing what was happening to little Gu in that space. However, what he could be sure of was that little Gu's life was not in danger yet. Otherwise, as the soul contract, he would definitely be affected. Now, Ji could only wait slowly. Ding! Host has cultivated profound Qi for 1 minute. The experience gained from martial cultivation, 580 by 999 times. Ding! Host has cultivated profound Qi for 1 minute. The experience gained from martial cultivation, 580 by 999 times. Ding! Congratulations, host. Martial cultivation has successfully broken through to the peak of the second level of the spirit profound realm. Unknowingly, another 2 to 3 days had passed. Jiu's martial cultivation also had a breakthrough. However, the teleportation circle in front of him still had no movement. He also did not feel anything through the soul contract. In the next moment, Jiu's eyes suddenly lit up. The teleportation circle was opening again. Seeing this, Jiu was overjoyed and hurriedly walked into the teleportation circle. Furthermore, he was not affected, which meant that little Gu's life was not in danger. In other words, he had successfully broken through to the 6th grade. After that, Jiu returned to the white space. However, what appeared in front of him in the next second was a naked Xiao Gu. Jiu couldn't help but stare blankly and ask, what's going on? What do you mean what happened? Xiao Gu, on the other hand, was not aware of this. After all, she didn't care whether she were clothes or not. She didn't have the concept of a normal human being. She felt more comfortable without clothes. I'm your clothes. Why are they all gone? Ji regained her senses and asked again. Oh, you mean the clothes? They were all destroyed by the uncontrollable violent energy just now. Xiao Gu explained. No matter what, it's fine as long as you're fine, Ji said with a smile. Looking at Xiao Gu's energetic appearance, it seemed that there was nothing wrong with him. Ding! Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power experience gained. 1 by 999 times. Jiu immediately took out a blue and white dress from her storage ring. The white dress that had been destroyed by Xiao Gu's energy just now was the other one. Just as Jiu was about to put on Xiao Gu's clothes, she suddenly discovered that both of Xiao Gu's dragon horns were gone. Why are your dragon horns gone? Jiu subconsciously asked. Dragon horns? Xiao Gu rubbed his forehead, and only then did he notice this. Perhaps it disappeared on its own when I just broke through. My tail is also gone. That's true. Jiu immediately looked behind Xiao Gu. Her tail really was gone. This is because she broke through to the 6th stage, and her transformation is even more perfect. At this moment, the remnant soul image opposite her said, I see. Jiu said, Ding. Host has used purple glazed pupil. Purple glazed pupil experience gained. 1 by 999 times. He immediately used the purple glazed pupil to take a look. Xiao Gu was indeed a 6th stage demonic beast now. But it took so long. Jiu couldn't help but mutter to herself. It took a total of 4 to 5 days to break through to the 6th stage. 6th stage demonic beast power was equivalent to profound earth realm human martial artists. This meant that it would take at least 4 to 5 days for him to break through to the profound earth realm in the future. Your friend seems to have experienced something. For a long time, a large amount of chaotic energy has accumulated in her body, and she can't absorb it. Nothing will happen when her demonic power is low, but when she reaches the 6th stage, this large amount of chaotic energy will explode. The remnant soul image said, but I've already helped her get rid of the chaotic energy these few days. She's fine now. Thank you, Senior. This was Jiu's heartfelt gratitude. There's something that the remnant soul image was talking about should be that Xiao Gu had been sealed for thousands of years. Moreover, it was in the depths of the Kanglan Empire Academy. That was why she had accumulated such a large amount of chaotic energy. Fortunately, she encountered this remnant soul of an expert and solved it. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. If Xiao Gu lost her life because of this chaotic energy, then he wouldn't be able to continue living. So now, can you fulfill your promise? The remnant soul image asked. Yes. Jiu nodded without hesitation. Once a promise was made, it was impossible to take it back. Since he had promised the remnant soul image, then he wouldn't go back on his word. He didn't sense any malicious intent from the remnant soul image. Furthermore, the remnant soul image had indeed helped him greatly this time. Saving Xiao Gu's life was equivalent to saving his own life. Jiyu immediately took out the red string that the remnant soul image had given him. It was the so-called soul string, and prepared to make this soul string recognize him as its master. The method was actually very simple. It was to drip blood to make it recognize him as its master. However, the problem was whether the soul string was willing to recognize him as its master. No matter what, Jiyu would just give it a try first. He used a hand knife to cut a wound on his fingertip and dripped a drop of blood onto the soul string. Ding! Detected that the host is currently undergoing blood recognition. Blood recognition success rate has increased by 999 times. Hearing the sudden notification from his system, Jiyu was instantly shocked. He didn't expect that even something like blood recognition could be increased by 999 times through the system. Then, was there any suspense? As expected, after a while, Jiyu successfully blood recognition on the soul string. I'm done here. It's your turn now. Jiyu immediately said to the remnant soul image. Okay. The remnant soul image responded. The remnant soul image didn't lie to Jiyu. When it said that it would directly enter the soul string, it really did. In the blink of an eye, the remnant soul image entered the soul string. Chapter 500. At this moment, although the remnant soul had disappeared from his sight, Jiyu could clearly sense the existence of the remnant soul through the soul rope. That was all. Other than that, Jiyu could not sense anything else from the remnant soul. This way, I can leave this space through the string of souls. The remnant soul said, Then let's go out now. As Jiyu spoke, he held the string of souls in one hand and Xiao Gu in the other and walked out of the teleportation circle. In the next instant, he was back in the ice cellar. The remnant soul sealed the 7th grade teleportation formation again. Ding! Host has used the Earth grade medium level fist technique, Cloud Decimating Fist Technique. The Cloud Decimating Fist Technique has gained 999 times experience points. Ding! Host has used the Earth grade high level fist technique, Shadowless Lightning Flash. The Shadowless Lightning Flash has gained 999 times experience points. Ding! Congratulations, Host. The Earth Grade Medium Level Fist Technique Cloud Decimating Fist Technique has successfully broken through to Minor Accomplishment stage. Jiyu broke the layer of ice above with a punch and used his movement technique to bring Xiao Gu out of the ground. I just need to bring you out of that space, right? At this moment, Jiyu asked the remnant soul in the string of souls, Then should I let you out now? Not yet. However, the remnant soul's voice sounded from the string of souls. Jiyu raised his eyebrows slightly and asked, What else do you want? Nothing much. I just feel that it's more convenient to follow you, the remnant soul said. Furthermore, in order to help your friend just now, I don't have much energy left. I have to sleep in the string of souls for a while. When I wake up next time, you will know more. The remnant soul's voice became weaker and weaker. It was probably unable to hold on any longer. Wait, what's your name? Jiyu asked. Name? It's been too long. I can't remember it now. I'll tell you when I wake up next time. After this voice sounded, the remnant soul did not respond anymore. It had probably fallen into a deep sleep. Jiyu did not care too much about it. It was better for him to be in a deep sleep. At least he would know his place. I don't think that thing is a bad person. Meanwhile, Xiao Gu spoke abruptly. I hope so, Jiyu murmured. Then he said, Let's go back to the fringe. Hearing this, Xiao Gu immediately spread its bone wings. He took Jiyu away from the land of extreme frost and headed to the fringe. Jiyu could clearly feel that Xiao Gu's flying speed was much faster than before. After all, Xiao Gu's demonic power had already broken through to the 6th stage, so it was very normal for her flying speed to increase. After arriving at the fringe, Jiyu returned to the center of the city. Ding! The host has taken a step forward. The experience gained from the superior Earth-ranked Shadowless Thunder Flash is 1 by 999 times. Ding. The host has taken a step forward. The experience gained from the superior Earth-ranked Shadowless Thunder Flash is 1 by 999 times. When Jiyu passed by a certain building, he suddenly felt a familiar aura. He couldn't help but feel puzzled and curious. When he turned around, he realized that he was passing by a slave market. Ding! The host has used soul perception. The experience gained from soul powers 1 by 999 times. Jiyu immediately used his soul power to sense which familiar person was in the slave market. Then, he realized that the familiar aura he felt just now was Musun's aura. Why is she here? Jiyu couldn't help but wonder in his heart. Musun, the previous Azure Water Branch Hall Master, was extremely close to the Spirit Profound Realm. Although she was defeated by Xiao Gu with one punch, she still left a deep impression on him. It could be said that Musun was the most powerful and mysterious Tongxian realm martial cultivator he had ever met. In his opinion, although Musun's cultivation was only at the peak of the 9th level of the Tongxian realm, it was not difficult for her to defeat martial cultivators who had just broken through to the Spirit Profound Realm. Jiyu really didn't expect that Musun would actually be in the fringe and even in a slave market. Immediately after, he felt a murderous intent from Musun. This was interesting. Jiyu narrowed his eyes and walked into the slave market in front of him. He really wanted to see what was going on inside. After Jiyu walked into the slave market, he realized that there were people running out in a hurry. It seemed that Musun was causing trouble inside. Very quickly, Jiyu found Musun's location. It was obvious that this was a slave market, but it was in a mess now. There was not a single thing in the market that was undamaged. Seeing a large group of people in the market, the first person Jiyu saw was Musun. Behind Musun, there were many women in ragged clothes wearing handcuffs. There were women in their early teens and women in their 20s. Obviously, these women were slaves being sold here. Opposite Musun, there was a group of people who looked like they were from the slave market. Other than a man who was at the early stage of the 1st level of the Spirit Profound Realm, the rest were mostly at the Tongxian realm and above. On the other hand, Musun's group was weak. Those slave women didn't have much fighting ability, so it was useless no matter how many of them there were. Hurry up and capture that woman. At this time, a fat man who looked like a rich man pointed at Musun and said angrily. Chapter 501. However, at this moment, Musun happened to sense Jiyu, who had appeared out of nowhere. Jiyu? Why are you here? Musun subconsciously asked. I'm more interested in why you're here. As she spoke, Jiyu pointed at the people who were aggressively charging towards Musun. But you better pay attention to your own situation first. Musun immediately regained her senses. Indeed, she shouldn't be distracted at this moment. She had always been able to sense the location of those people, and the people who were charging towards her were much weaker than her. Musun casually waved her hand and beat those people to the ground. A bunch of trash. The man whose cultivation was at the early stage of the 1st level of the Spirit Profound Realm could no longer bear to watch. Let me personally deal with you. Hearing this voice, Musun's expression gradually turned serious. The battle between the two was about to start. Although Musun was powerful, she was still at a slight disadvantage when facing an opponent whose cultivation was higher than hers. At this moment, Jiyu realized that she had overestimated Musun. The gap between the peak stage of the 9th level of the Spirit Profound Realm and the early stage of the 1st level of the Spirit Profound Realm wasn't that easy to make up for. Do you need my help? At this moment, Jiyu casually asked. Musun was from the same Azure Water Branch Hall as her, and she had helped her greatly before. This time, she could consider it as returning the favor. Not at the moment. Musun replied to Jiyu while exchanging blows with the Spirit Profound Realm man. Her reply was more conservative. She wanted to deal with the person in front of her alone. But if an accident happened, she still had to ask for Jiyu's help, especially since the little girl who had defeated her in the Azure Water Branch Hall was also by Jiyu's side. Hearing the short exchange between the two, the spirit profound realm man couldn't help but frown. He deliberately probed the black-clothed youth, only to discover that he was only at the first or second level of the spirit profound realm. But from the black-clothed youth's eyes, he inexplicably felt a trace of contempt. That gaze, that tone, it was as if the other party didn't take him seriously. Not to mention the blind lady before him. Even though her cultivation was only at Tongxian realm perfection, she was exceptionally powerful. He didn't dare to let his guard down and quickly turned his attention back to Mu Sun. The man held a large sword in his hand. His speed was slightly slower, but his powerful strength made up for this disadvantage. Mu Sun had to be very careful when dealing with her opponent's sword. Once one was struck by the sword, it was possible for one to be severely injured. Fortunately, Mu Sun's soul perception was very strong. She could basically sense the other party's movements in advance and had enough time to react and dodge. Mu Sun's weapon was a thin sword, so she definitely wouldn't be able to clash head-on with the opponent's large sword. She took advantage of the gap between dodging the opponent's attack and found the right time to stab with her sword. He really knows how to dodge. The spirit profound realm man was stabbed in many places by Mu Sun and was gradually enraged by Mu Sun. Not only did he not stop attacking, but he also increased the frequency of his attacks, trying his best to reduce the opportunity for his opponent to seize the opportunity. There was still a huge gap between the early stage of the first level of the spirit profound realm and the complete stage of the 9th level of the Tongxian realm. Mu Sun was only able to surpass the spirit profound realm man in terms of soul power. She was suppressed by him in all other aspects. Under her opponent's attacks, Mu Sun gradually became tired, and beads of sweat gradually appeared on her forehead. When a man noticed this, he attacked more and more fiercely, trying to force Mu Sun into a disadvantageous position. Hit him. The man forcefully endured the opponent's defensive stab from time to time and slashed his large sword at her with all his might. Mu Sun slightly opened her mouth. She didn't expect that the opponent could still slash out as if nothing had happened after suffering so many injuries. But it was already too late for her to dodge, so she could only use her thin sword to block in front of her. The man's fierce slash sent Mu Sun and her sword flying. Mu Sun only managed to slow down after smashing a hole in the wall behind her. Not only that, the fierce force in the opponent's slash had also caused some internal injuries to her. Mu Sun's face was slightly pale, and she couldn't help but cough a few times. Her body wasn't very good to begin with, and this was one of her biggest flaws. Well done. When the chubby middle-aged man saw this scene, he was immediately overjoyed. Immediately after, the chubby man's face changed into an obscene and evil expression. Capture that woman for me. I will let her know that she can only be a slave for the rest of her life. Oh, seems like you have something. Hearing the chubby man's words, Ji smiled faintly. He then asked Mu Sun, "Do you need me to make a move now?" "Yes. Please make your move." Mu Sun nodded weakly. "Huh? Is this woman crazy?" The spirit profound realm man couldn't help but mock. "Letting a brat with a lower cultivation than you deal with me? Don't you have a capable helper?" Mu Sun shook her head slightly and remained silent. She had already vaguely sensed that this young man, named Ji, was many times stronger than the last time they met. Chapter 502. Hearing Mu Sun's request, Ji did not waste any more words. Ding. Host has used Earth Rank Upper Grade Shadowless Thunderflash. Shadowless Thunderflash has gained 999 times experience. Ding. Congratulations, Host. Earth Rank Upper Grade Shadowless Thunderflash has successfully broken through to the Great Accomplishment realm. Ding. Detected that Shadowless Thunderflash has reached the Great Accomplishment realm. Automatically upgraded to Heaven Rank Lower Grade Shadowless Thunderflash. 3,000 clouds movement. In an instant, Ji arrived in front of the spirit profound realm man. Earth Rank Upper Grade Shadowless Thunderflash had unexpectedly broken through and upgraded to Heaven Rank Lower Grade Shadowless Thunderflash. 3,000 clouds movement. This was the first time Ji had obtained a heaven-rank, lower-grade shadowless thunderflash. However, he did not have the time to think about this right now. He had to eliminate this guy in front of him first. A cyan vein sword immediately appeared in his hand, and he instantly used Earth-rank upper-grade shadowless thunderflash and 80% sword intent at the same time. Ding! Host has used Dazzling Sun in the Sky 3rd form. Dazzling Sun in the Sky 3rd form has gained 999 times experience. Ding! Host has activated 80% sword intent. 80% sword intent has gained 999 times experience. GU's speed, and the fact that she was using an Earth-rank upper-grade shadowless thunderflash, was not something that a first-level Spirit Profound Realm man could predict. That person did not even see GU's movements. When he realized that GU was gone, a golden sword ray was already in front of his eyes. That sword ray, which was smaller than a marble, exploded the moment it touched that person. It exploded with extreme heat and power, annihilating that person until not even ashes remained. This was the instantaneous form of the Earth-rank upper-grade shadowless thunderflash, 3rd form. Everyone in the surroundings was unable to open their eyes because of GU's sword ray. Only the blind Musun's eyes were not affected. When those people opened their eyes, they discovered that the Spirit Profound Realm man was already gone. Where is he? Everyone looked around, but did not see that lord. The fat middle-aged man couldn't help but ask, "What's going on?" As for Musun, although she couldn't see with her eyes, she could sense through her soul power that the life aura of the guy who was slightly stronger than her had already disappeared. Clearly, he had been killed by GU in an instant. Musun couldn't help but take a deep breath. How long had it been since they last met? GU had gone from being on par with her to far surpassing her. She couldn't help but marvel at such talent and strength. There's no need to look for him. I've already killed that guy. At this time, GU said to fatty middle-aged and the others in a flat tone. What? The fat middle-aged man's eyes widened in disbelief. He simply could not believe that an expert at the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm would be killed by a youth, and in the blink of an eye. The others also had the same expression as the fat middle-aged man. Because GU's earlier attack was an instantaneous sword technique, her target was only that man at the Spirit Profound Realm. Therefore, the fat middle-aged man sighed, as well as Musun and the slave girls behind Musun, were not affected by GU's attack just now. At this time, GU turned around and said to Musun, "Do you still need me to deal with the remaining guys?" Hearing GU's voice, those people's hearts all jumped. Even that lord at the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm was instantly killed. Wouldn't it be even more impossible for them to survive? No need. I want to deal with it myself. Musun shook her head and walked forward. Hearing this, GU put the cyan vein sword back into the storage ring. If he guessed correctly, Musun should have a grudge with the people in the slave market. And for what the fat man said earlier, Musun seemed to have been a slave here. Then, Musun's blindness when she was young was very likely to be related to this matter. Therefore, GU asked Musun if she wanted her to deal with those people herself. At this time, Musun walked in front of the fat man and said coldly, "I'm only looking for this person. Everyone else, scram." Those people who were originally standing stiffly in place immediately ran away when they heard this voice. "You, all of you, come back here." Seeing that his subordinates all ran away without saying a word, the fat man hurriedly shouted. However, those people didn't even turn their heads and didn't even stop in their tracks. At this kind of life and death situation, how could they care so much? If they could live, they definitely didn't want to die. In just a short while, those people had all run away without a trace. The fat man was instantly enraged and desperate. Now that he was alone, he was no match for this woman in front of him. After more than 10 years, I've finally waited for this day. Musun raised her thin sword, her tone extremely cold. Don't kill me." The fat man directly knelt on the ground in fear and stammered with a trembling voice. Back then, I at least let you go. Let me go." Musun's tone became even colder. "When you were abusing me, You accidentally blinded me. After you felt that I was useless, you threw me away. Is this what you mean by letting me go?" The fat man was instantly speechless. While he was still thinking about how to beg for mercy, he saw that the other party had already stabbed her sword. Musun's sword pierced through the fat man's heart. Following the fat man's complete death, Musun's thin sword slowly fell from her hand. After so many years, everything was finally over. Chapter 503. Were you really from here? Ji walked over and asked. But halfway through, he wasn't sure if he should say the word slave. That's right. Musun nodded frankly. I became a slave here when I was young. My eyes were also given to me by this person. As expected, Ji sighed. That's indeed a little tragic. Musun seemed to have misunderstood Ji's words. She said, "Don't misunderstand. My chastity has always been with me." Ji was stunned. He pointed at himself and said awkwardly, "I don't think I've ever said anything about chastity, right?" He almost didn't react in time. He was shocked by Musun's words. "Is that so?" Musun turned around and said, "Then pretend I didn't say anything." She looked calm on the surface, but she was feeling a little embarrassed. In the eyes of ordinary people, female slaves were usually, when Jiyu said the word tragic, she subconsciously misunderstood Jiyu. Also, she didn't know why she deliberately explained this. Ahem. Jiyu coughed lightly and didn't think too much about it. He changed the topic. "Then what are you going to do with those women?" He was naturally referring to the slave women hiding behind Musun. "I'll arrange for them to go somewhere." Musun said. "That's good." Jiyu said, "Speaking of which, do you have anything else to do in the land of chaos?" "Nope." Musun shook her head. "After arranging their places, I'm going back to the Kanglan branch." "Then let's go back together." Ji said. He didn't plan to stay in the land of chaos any longer. He might as well go back to the Kanglan Empire with Musun. Okay. Musun nodded. Next, Jiyu and Musun had to deal with those slave women. At this moment, those slave girls were all trembling as they looked at Musun and Jiyu. Although the young man, woman, and little girl in front of them seemed to have saved them, they were still unsure whether the three of them were good or bad people. After all, they had been enslaved for so long that it was difficult for them to trust anyone. Furthermore, the young man and woman in front of him were both very powerful. Even the spirit profound realm lord was killed. Musun sensed the fear in these slave girls' hearts and said gently, "Don't worry, we won't do anything to you. Furthermore, we'll help you arrange a place to go. If we really wanted to do something, would you still be standing there and watching us?" Ji said straightforwardly. To the slave girls, Musun's words only made them feel a little more at ease. Jiyu's words were very effective, because Jiyu's words were very simple and straightforward. With Jiyu's strength, if she really wanted to harm them, they wouldn't be able to resist at all. After that, Musun spent half a day arranging places for those slave girls. She gave them a little money, and those who were supposed to go home went home. Those who were supposed to be self-reliant went to be self-reliant. As for the subsequent matters, she couldn't care less. After all, she couldn't bring these slave girls with her at all times. As for Jiyu, he didn't interfere with Musun's matters and let Musun make her own arrangements. He casually found a tea house to sit down and cultivate Split the Sky, while waiting for Musun to come over after she was done with her matters. Ding. Host has read the third volume of Split the Sky for 1 minute. Experience gained for the third level of Split the Sky. 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has read the third volume of Split the Sky for 1 minute. Experience gained for the third level of Split the Sky. 1 by 999 times. In just half a day, Jiyu's cultivation realm and physique hadn't broken through yet, but Musun had already finished with her matters and returned. Everything has been arranged. Musun used her soul perception to find Jiyu's seat. She walked over to Jiyu's side and sat down as she spoke. For a moment, the gazes of the surrounding people converged on them. After all, although Musun's eyes were covered, Her exquisite and beautiful facial features couldn't be hidden. Moreover, that impressive figure was faintly discernible under the black robe. The central area of Chaos City was the most turbulent place in the entire Chaos City. Those who could stay in such a place were all ruthless people. When the surrounding people saw the black-robed woman, they immediately started to pay attention to her. In their eyes, this black-robed woman couldn't even see her eyes, so she definitely wasn't that strong. As for the black-clothed youth and the little girl in the white dress, they were completely ignored. It seems like there are quite a few idiots who have their eyes on you. At this moment, Ji looked at Mu-sun and smiled faintly. Chapter 504. Naturally, Mu-sun had also sensed the unbridled gazes of the surrounding people through her soul power, which made her feel slightly displeased. When Ji-yu's voice rang out, the surrounding people's expressions darkened. That brat is quite gutsy, daring to call us idiots. Let's attack together. Let's kill that brat first, then we'll snatch the two girls next to him. At this moment, they couldn't wait to make their move. Hearing that those people wanted to kill her, Ji-yu immediately narrowed her eyes. However, after 3 seconds, ding, host has used Gold Blade, gold level spiritual energy experience gained. 1 by 999 times. Ding, host has used Gold Blade, gold level spiritual energy experience gained. 1 by 999 times. As the small golden sword pierced through their bodies, their minds instantly collapsed. Let's go. At this moment, Ji-yu calmly put down the teacup in her hand and held Xiao Gu's hand as they walked out of the tea house. Mu-sun, on the other hand, was stunned for a while before following them. Ding! Host has taken a step. Heaven rank inferior martial technique 3000 clouds movement experience gained. 1 by 999 times. Ding! Host has taken a step. Heaven rank inferior martial technique 3000 clouds movement experience gained. 1 by 999 times. After that, Ji-yu and the other two took a carriage and left the Bedlam lands, following the original route back to the Kanglan Empire. In the Bedlam lands, even the coachman was a first-tier Tongxian realm martial cultivator. After all, without sufficient strength, there was no way to survive in the Bedlam lands. Even though the cost of the carriage was slightly more expensive, Ji-yu didn't care. Moreover, riding such a carriage was equivalent to hiring a Tongxian realm fighter. If they encountered demonic beasts with low demonic power, it would save him the trouble of personally dealing with them. Young master wants to go to the Kanglan Empire? The coachman couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. Young master, you're going on a long journey with your wife and child. After all, the Bedlam lands was so far away from the Kanglan Empire. As for the woman beside him, she also made him gasp in amazement. He had traveled all over the place in his life and had seen countless beauties, but almost none of them could compare to this woman. Hearing the coachman's words, Ji-yu couldn't help but feel a little awkward. It was clear that the other party treated Mu-sun as his wife and Xiao Gu as his daughter. You misunderstood. Ji-yu smiled and explained, This is my younger sister, and that is my friend. Oh, I see. The coachman nodded and didn't think too much about it. Mu-sun, on the other hand, didn't react at all. She followed Ji-yu into the carriage. No one knew what she was thinking. On the way, Ji-yu began to cultivate. Ding! The host has read the 3rd volume of the Sky Splitter for 1 minute. The experience gained for the 3rd level of the Sky Splitter is 1 asterisk 999x. Ding! The host has read the 3rd volume of the Sky Splitter for 1 minute. The experience gained for the 3rd level of the Sky Splitter is 1 asterisk 999x. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through the 3rd level of the King rank Sky Splitter to the Mastery Realm. After about 4 to 5 days, Ji-yu's Sky Splitter finally broke through again. Her physique reached the 5th grade of the Mystic Body. After so many days, the carriage had already left the Bedlam lands. At this time, the coachman had to stop to let the horses rest for a while. It was impossible to let the horses run continuously on such a long journey. Ji just happened to get off the carriage and walk around. He looked around. He seemed to be in the shattering army empire's king city. He estimated that he would be able to return to the Kangland Empire in a few days. After more than 10 minutes, they continued on their way. This time, Jiu switched to cultivating the amethyst pupil. Ding! The host has read the amethyst pupil cultivation manual for 1 minute. The experience gained for the amethyst pupil is 1*999x. Ding! The host has read the amethyst pupil cultivation manual for 1 minute. The experience gained for the amethyst pupil is 1*999x. After an unknown amount of time, Jiu's amethyst pupil also had a breakthrough. The amethyst pupil had reached the 3rd stage. There was only the 4th stage left before the amethyst pupil could be considered complete. After that, Jiu cultivated her mystic chi to increase her cultivation. Ding! The host has cultivated her mystic chi for 1 minute. The experience gained for the martial cultivation is 600*999x. Ding! The host has cultivated her mystic chi for 1 minute. The experience gained for the martial cultivations 600*999x. Ding! Congratulations! The martial cultivation has successfully broken through to the early 3rd level of the spirit profound realm. Before the carriage arrived at the Kangland Empire's border, Jiu's cultivation had successfully broken through to the 3rd level of the spirit profound realm. When the carriage arrived at the Kangland Empire's border, Jiu and the other two got off the carriage. The Kangland Empire's terrain was rather special. They had to take the spirit ship to enter. After taking the spirit ship into the border, Jiu temporarily parted ways with Musun. Because he wanted to go to the imperial city's Qianyuan Martial House first, he did not want to return to the Azure Water Branch Hall with Musun. He would return to the Azure Water Branch Hall later. It would save him the trouble of running back and forth. And if Jiu remembered correctly, it should be Nangong Maching's coming-of-age ceremony in a few days. He had previously agreed with Nangong Maching that if he could return to the Kangland Empire in time, he would attend Nangong Maching's coming-of-age ceremony. He did not want to go back on his word. After returning to the imperial city's Qianyuan Martial House, Jiu would go to Bright Moon Ancient City to attend Nangong Maching's coming-of-age ceremony. Chapter 505. Ding! Host has used the Heaven Rank Inferior skill 3000 Clouds Movement. 3000 Clouds Movement has gained 999 times experience. Jiu immediately used the Heaven Rank Inferior skill 3000 Clouds Movement and brought Xiao Gu to the royal city. The main reason was to test out the speed of the Heaven Rank Inferior skill 3000 Clouds Movement. Secondly, it was also convenient for him to travel. At this moment, Jiu seemed to be riding on the clouds. This speed was even faster than the Earth Rank Superior skill, Shadowless Lightning Flash, from before. As expected of a Heaven Rank Superior skill, Jiu thought to himself. This speed made him very satisfied. Ding! Host has used the Heaven Rank Inferior skill 3000 Clouds Movement. 3000 Clouds Movement has gained 999 times experience. Ding! Host has used the Heaven Rank Inferior skill 3000 Clouds Movement. 3000 Clouds Movement has gained 999 times experience. After that, Jiu continuously used the Heaven Rank Inferior skill 3000 Clouds Movement and quickly arrived at the royal city. However, after using the 3000 Clouds Movement a few times, the profound chi in his body was almost depleted. After all, this was a Heaven Rank Inferior skill. It consumed a lot of the user's profound chi. With Jiu's current cultivation, it was already very good for him to be able to use the 3000 Clouds Movement a few times. If it was an ordinary spirit profound realm martial artist who used the Heaven Rank Profound skill, for example, those at the first level of the spirit profound realm, they might not even be able to use it once. At this moment, Jiu had already arrived at the Qianyuan Martial House. Ding! Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power has gained experience. won by 999 times. Ding. Host has consumed a 4th level profound chi recovery pill. The profound chi recovery effect has increased by 999 times. He took out a 4th level profound chi recovery pill from the storage ring. Under the support of the 999 times profound chi recovery effect, he instantly recovered all the profound chi in his body. At this moment, because Jiyu was only dressed in black and did not cover his face, he was quickly noticed by the surrounding Marshall House students. Look, isn't that genius Jiyu? It's true. She's exactly the same as in the portrait. She's really the genius Jiyu. F***CK, this is my idol. I didn't expect to have the chance to meet him. Since Jiyu's legendary deeds in the Kanglan Empire kept increasing, almost everyone in the Qianyuan Marshall House worshipped Jiyu. This included the female students as well. Many of them went crazy when they saw Jiyu. Get out of the way, I want to have children with Senior Ji. You wish. Senior Ji belongs to Senior Sister Yuechu and Senior Sister Yueshin. No matter what, it won't be your turn. It's not just Senior Sister Yuchu and Senior Sister Yuexian. I heard that Senior Sister Ling has a very close relationship with Senior Brother Ji as well. However, when everyone wanted to get closer, they saw that Jiyu had already left, leaving only an afterimage. Ding! Host has used the lower heaven class movement technique, 3000 clouds movement. 3000 clouds movement has obtained 999 times proficiency experience. At this moment, Jiyu held Xiao Gu's hand and directly appeared in front of the Violet Gold Palace. Although those Marshall House students looked like his fans, he didn't have the time nor the leisure to do so. Housemaster Morong, I'm back. After entering the Violet Gold Palace, Jiyu directly greeted him. Morong Li was in the Violet Gold Palace, as usual. You've been gone for about a month this time, right? Hearing Jiyu's voice, Morong Li immediately turned around. And it's about time. Jiyu said, speaking of which, Housemaster, how's your violet glazed pupil cultivation going? Right now, I've only cultivated to the see-through reality realm. However, it's only a matter of time before I reach the violet glazed divine transformation realm. Morong Li said, and that's good. Jiyu looked around and didn't see Jiang Yuechu and Jiang Yueshin's figures. He immediately asked, where are Yuechu and Yueshin? They went out to train. Morong Li said, train? Jiyu's gaze slightly trembled. Just as he felt a bit worried, Morong Li already said they insisted on going out to train, so I let them go. However, you don't have to worry. Before they left, I gave them 2 treasures. One is to let me immediately sense if they're in danger after crushing it. The other is a defensive formation that can block the attacks of Tongxian realm experts. Moreover, their current strength is very close to Tongxian realm. Otherwise, I wouldn't let them go out to train. Saying this, Morong Li took out a jade pendant and gave it to Jiyu. Take this jade pendant. If they're in danger, crush the other jade pendant. You'll be able to sense their specific location through this jade pendant. Chapter 506. N. Jiyu took the jade pendant and asked, speaking of which, where did Yuechu and Yueshin go to train? They should still be in the Demon Beast Mountain range. Morong Li said, I know. Jiyu said, what about Ling? Ling is cultivating in seclusion. Are you going to find her? Morong Li said, cultivating in seclusion. Then forget it. I'll leave first. After speaking, Jiyu turned and left. He had already planned to go to Bright Moon Ancient City. Bright Moon Ancient City was relatively close to the Demon Beast Mountain range. If something happened to Jiang Yuechu and Jiang Yueshin, he would be able to arrive in time. Ding! Host has taken a step. Low-grade heaven rank movement, 3000 clouds movement, gained experience. Won by 999 times. Ding! Host has taken a step. Low-grade heaven rank movement, 3000 clouds movement, gained experience. Won by 999 times. After walking out of Qianyuan Marshall House, Jiyu let Xiao Gu take him to Bright Moon Ancient City. Halfway through, they arrived above the Demon Beast Mountain range. Ding. Host has used soul perception. Soul force gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has used soul perception. Soul force gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Soon, Jiyu sensed Jiang Yuechu and Jiang Yuexin's aura at the border between the outer and inner regions. They seemed to be dealing with a second-stage demon beast. However, Jiyu didn't plan to disturb them. Because this was their training, Jiyu respected their choice. As long as they weren't in any danger, Jiyu wouldn't interfere. Then, Jiyu and Xiaogu arrived at Bright Moon Ancient City. They landed in a sparsely populated place in Bright Moon Ancient City, and Jiyu walked to the Nangong family. Ding! Host has taken a step. Low-grade heaven rank movement, 3,000 clouds movement, gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding! Host has taken a step forward. Experience gained from the heaven rank inferior martial art, 3,000 clouds movement. 1 by 999 times. A few minutes later, Jiyu arrived at the Nangong residence. The guards at the entrance of the Nangong residence were just about to stop the young man in black and the little girl in white who had appeared out of nowhere. In the next moment, he saw the appearance of the black-clothed youth clearly. Isn't this Jiyu? The guard was stunned on the spot. When he reacted, he hurriedly made way for the other party. In the entire Kanglan Empire, Jiyu was even more famous than the current queen, Zhuang Weiran. She was also the queen's favorite. There was also a guard among them. When he realized that the person who came was Jiyu, he immediately ran in to inform the patriarch. Jiyu naturally noticed the appearance of those guards, but he didn't care at all. He pretended that he didn't see anything and walked into the Nangong estate. Not long after entering the Nangong estate, Jiyu coincidentally bumped into the patriarch of the Nangong family, Nangong Yu, who was running out in a hurry. Jiyu, you're here. Nangong Yu seemed to have just heard the news from the guards that Jiyu was here, so he rushed out in a hurry. Patriarch of the Nangong family, you don't have to be so anxious. Jiyu said politely. Nangong Maching's coming of age ceremony should be starting soon, right? Jiyu went straight to the point. That's right. Maching's coming of age ceremony is in 3 days. Nangong Yu instantly understood that Jiyu was here to attend his daughter's coming of age ceremony. He immediately felt happy. If that was the case, Jiyu still had Maching in his heart. There is still hope. Patriarch, help me arrange a place to stay. I'll attend Nangong Maching's coming-of-age ceremony on that day. Ji said, all right. Nangong Yu nodded and immediately ordered his subordinates to arrange a place to stay. At this moment, Ji was in the place that Nangong Yu had arranged for him. He planned to break through the 4th stage of the purple glazed pupil's purple glazed god transformation in one go, which was also the last stage. That way, the purple glazed pupil would be considered complete. As for Xiaogu, Jiyu had already given her some candy, so she would at least be obedient for a day. Ding! Host has taken a look at the purple glazed pupil cultivation manual. Experience gained. 1 by 999 times. Ding! Host has taken a look at the purple glazed pupil cultivation manual. Experience gained. 1 by 999 times. However, less than half a day after Jiyu started cultivating the purple glazed pupil, there was a light knock on the door. Ding! Host has used soul perception, soul strength experience gained. 1 by 999 times. Jiyu immediately used his spiritual perception and found that it was Nangong Maching standing outside the door. Come in. At this moment, Jiyu stopped cultivating and said, come in. Then, Nangong Maching, who was standing outside the door, pushed open the door and walked in. Jiyu looked at the sky outside the window and found that it was already dark. Then, she asked Nangong Maching, it's already so late. Why are you here? I'm here to bring you dinner. At this moment, Nangong Maching took out an exquisite box. Nangong Maching directly walked in and sat beside Jiyu, which was the bedside. Dinner? Thank you, Jiyu said. Nangong Maching placed the box on her lap and slowly opened it. This is the dinner I made myself. Come, have a taste. As she spoke, she picked up a piece of meat and put it in front of Jiyu's mouth. Seeing this, Jiyu was slightly stunned. Was she trying to feed him? Chapter 507. I'll eat it myself. Jiyu declined politely with a smile. He was a man. Why did he need someone to feed him? He was not a child anymore. Why don't you try it first? Nangong Maching was still unwilling to give up. This was a rare opportunity for her. All right. Jiyu compromised in the end. After taking a bite, she realized that the dinner was indeed quite delicious. Your culinary skills are much better than those two girls, Yu Chu and Yu Xin. Ji could not help but sigh. Thinking back to when he ate Jiang Yuechu's food, it left a deep impression on him. Nangong Maching was already happy enough when Jiyu obediently took a bite. Now that she was praised for her culinary skills, she was even more delighted. Speaking of which, you call them by their names. Can't you call me by my name too? Nangong Maching suddenly paid attention to how Jiyu addressed Jiang Yuechu and Jiang Yuexin just now. Name? Jiyu thought for a moment. Maching? Yes. Nangong Maching smiled cheerfully and picked up another piece of vegetable leaf, wanting to continue feeding Jiyu. No, I'll eat by myself next. This time, Jiyu really did not want to continue compromising. He was a man, after all, and his hands were intact. How could he let a woman feed him? Nangong Maching could not force Jiyu, so he could only give up. At least she had fed Jiyu a bite just now. She was already satisfied. When Jiyu was eating dinner, Nangong Maching was still sitting at the side and watching. Aren't you going back? Jiyu was halfway through her meal when she realized that Nangong Maching had been sitting at the side and watching her. She could not help but ask. There's no hurry. I'll bring the cutlery back after you finish eating, Nangong Maching said calmly. Hearing this, Jiyu didn't think too much about it. After dinner, Jiyu returned the box to Nangong Maching. Sorry to trouble you. Then I'll go back first. Nangong Maching immediately stood up. In fact, she wanted to continue staying here, but Jiyu seemed to be cultivating. In order not to disturb Jiyu, she could only go back. Yes, Jiyu nodded. After Nangong Maching left, he continued to cultivate the amethyst pupil. Ding. Host has read the Amethyst Pupil Cultivation Manual for 1 minute. Amethyst Pupil Experience gained. 1 asterisk 999x. Ding. Host has read the Amethyst Pupil Cultivation Manual for 1 minute. Amethyst Pupil Experience gained. 1 asterisk 999x. Before Nangong Maching's coming-of-age ceremony began, Jiyu had been cultivating the amethyst pupil. During this period, Nangong Maching would come to Jiyu every mealtime with the dishes he personally cooked. As a result, Jiyu was never hungry. However, on the day of Nangong Maching's coming-of-age ceremony, Jiyu's amethyst pupil had not completely reached perfection. However, he felt that he was about to break through the 4th stage of the amethyst transformation. It would probably take another 1 or 2 days. This morning, Nangong Maching delivered breakfast as usual. However, Jiyu found that Nangong Maching looked a little strange today. What's wrong with you? Are you not feeling well? Just as Jiyu opened his mouth to ask this question, at the same time, a system notification sounded in his mind. Ding! Host has taken a look at the 1st stage of the extreme cold Een body, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding! Congratulations, Host. You have successfully comprehended the method to solve the 1st stage of the extreme cold Een body. Jiyu found out about this through the system. In other words, Nangong Maching had the extreme cold Een body physique. From his system, he found out that the extreme cold Een body was a special type of physique with extreme Een. There were a total of 3 stages. The 1st stage would erupt when a person turned 18. In the 1st stage, the body would only feel very cold and uncomfortable. The reason why it was because the last 2 stages were even more terrifying. If the 1st stage was not solved, the 2nd stage would cause the body to be frozen from the inside out, unable to move, and could be described as a vegetable. In the 3rd stage, even the heart would be frozen, and the person would lose their life completely. Obviously, Nangong Maching had erupted the 1st stage of the extreme cold Een body today. Jiyu completely did not expect that Nangong Maching actually still had this kind of physique hidden in him. Coincidentally, Jiyu found out from the system that the method to solve the first stage of the extreme cold-ean body was the Great Heaven Mystic Yang pill from last time. Thinking about this, Jiyu did not think about it anymore. Seeing that Nangong marching in front of him was very uncomfortable, even swaying as she walked, he immediately put down the box in Nangong marching's hands. There's something wrong with your body. Come with me to your father first. Jiyu carried Nangong marching on his back and left the room as he spoke. Nangong marching wanted to say something, but because her body was too cold, she could not open her mouth. Feeling the warmth of Jiyu's back, she could not help but hug Jiyu's neck tightly, sticking her body close to Jiyu's back. Chapter 508. Ding! Host has used the inferior heaven rank movement technique 3000 clouds movement. 3000 clouds movement technique has gained 999 times the experience. Jiyu immediately used the 3000 clouds movement technique and carried Nangong marching towards Nangongyu. Seeing Jiyu suddenly barge in with Nangong marching on his back, Nangongyu was originally happy, but he soon realized that something was wrong. What's going on? Seeing that his daughter seemed to be very uncomfortable, Nangongyu couldn't help but worry. There's a serious problem with Maching's body. Jiyu quickly said, "Let's bring her to the room first." "Okay, young master, follow me." Nangongyu realized the seriousness of the matter and immediately led the way. Jiyu quickly caught up with him. Ding! Host has taken a step. The inferior heaven rank movement technique 3000 clouds movement has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding! Host has taken a step. The inferior heaven rank movement technique 3000 clouds movement has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Soon, Jiyu followed Nangongyu to Nangong Maching's room. After placing Nangong Maching on the bed and covering her with a blanket, he comforted Nangong Maching. "Rest here first, you'll be fine." "Young master, what happened to Maching?" At this moment, Nangongyu anxiously asked Jiyu. "There's a body constitution called the extreme cold-ean physique hidden in her body, and it broke out today." Jiyu quickly explained, then took out a pill furnace from her storage ring and said, "I'll prepare a solution now. You don't have to worry." Ding! Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Jiyu took out a pill furnace and a pile of materials from her storage ring. Right now, he was only a superior grade 5 alchemist. If he wanted to refine the grade 6 Great Heaven Profound Yang pill, he would need to be at least a grade 6 alchemist. Therefore, he planned to first refine other medicinal pills to increase his alchemy attainments. Ding! It has been detected that the host has begun to refine grade 4 medicinal pills. The success rate of refining pills has increased by 999 times. Ding! Host has concocted a 4th grade medicinal pill. Alchemy attainment has been increased by 999 times. Ding! Host has concocted a 4th grade medicinal pill. Alchemy attainment has been increased by 999 times. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the inferior 6th stage pill refinement master. After half a day, Jiyu's alchemy Dao finally broke through to become a 6th grade alchemist. During this time, Nangongyu took good care of Nangong Maching. At this moment, Jiyu did not stop and was preparing to refine the Great Heaven Profound Yang pill. Fortunately, he had made a trip to the land of chaos. That trip had been very fruitful. He had even managed to gather a set of ingredients for the Great Heaven Profound Yang pill. Ding! It has been detected that the host has begun to refine a grade 6 Great Heaven Profound Yang pill. The success rate of refining pills has increased by 999 times. Another half a day passed. Ding! The host has successfully refined a grade 6 Great Heaven Profound Yang pill. Alchemy attainment has been increased by 999 times. Jiyu had finally refined the Great Heaven Profound Yang pill. He then took out the pill from the furnace and walked to the bedside. "Is this the antidote?" Looking at the pill in Jiyu's hand, Nangonyu could not help but ask. That's right. This is the pill that can solve the first stage of the extreme cold extreme in body, the Great Heaven Profound Yang pill. Jiyu said, Great Heaven Profound Yang pill. Nangonyu was shocked. He did not expect this pill to have something to do with his daughter's body constitution. Then, who was that mysterious person back then? At this moment, Nangon Maching seemed to be in a half-awake state. Her furrowed brows indicated that she was not feeling well. Ji tried to pry open Nangon Maching's lips with her hands. She immediately felt that it was terrifyingly cold. It's okay. It will be done soon. Jiyu said softly as she stuffed the Great Heaven Profound Yang pill into Nangon Maching's mouth. The moment Nangon Maching swallowed the Great Heaven Profound Yang pill, a burst of extreme yang qi erupted from her body. Soon, Nangon Maching's body warmed up. Her furrowed brows also gradually relaxed. Is it done? Nangonyu asked anxiously. Yes, it's done. Jiyu nodded and then looked out of the window. It's quite late now. Let her rest here. Okay. Thank you very much for saving us, young master. Nangonyu said gratefully. If Jiyu was not here this time, he really did not know what to do. By the way, your coming-of-age ceremony this time, Jiyu suddenly thought. Chapter 509. It's already so late. Let's not hold it as long as Maching is fine. Nangonyu looked at Nangon Maching and said, and we can hold it again next year. That's true. Jiyu said, then my sister and I will go back now. We'll come back when we have a chance. Take care, young master. Nangonyu sent him off. Ding. Host has taken a step. Inferior heaven-level martial arts, 3,000 clouds movement, gained experience points. 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has taken a step. Inferior heaven-level martial arts, 3,000 clouds movement, gained experience points. 1 by 999 times. Just as Jiyu turned around and took a few steps, he suddenly felt Nangon Maching's cultivation aura skyrocketing. LV6 Defensive Profound Realm. LV7 Defensive Profound Realm. LV8 Defensive Profound Realm. LV9 Defensive Profound Realm. However, Nangon Maching's cultivation had broken through to LV9 Defensive Profound Realm and showed no signs of stopping. In a flash, he broke through the shackles of Defensive Profound Realm and reached Tongxian Realm. LV1 Tongxian Realm. LV2 Tongxian Realm. LV3 Tongxian Realm. It was only when he broke through to LV3 Tongxian Realm that the speed of growth slowed down. Even so, he was still breaking through. Mid LV3 Tongxian Realm. Late LV3 Tongxian Realm. Peak LV3 Tongxian Realm. Peak LV3 Tongxian Realm. LV4 Tongxian Realm. In the end, Nangon Maching's cultivation stopped at early LV4 Tongxian Realm. Ding! Host has sensed another person's cultivation aura breakthrough. Martial arts cultivation gained experience points. 1 by 999 times. Ding! Host has sensed another person's cultivation aura breakthrough. Martial arts cultivation gained experience points. 1 by 999 times. Jiyu felt Nangon Maching's cultivation aura breakthrough and gained a lot of cultivation realms. At the same time, Nangon Maching woke up. Her face was filled with disbelief as she muttered, What's going on? Nangonyu was also shocked. How did his daughter's cultivation suddenly surpass his? This is the benefit of solving the first stage of the extreme colding body. Jiyu explained, although this physique is fatal, once it erupts and is resolved, you will obtain a large amount of cultivation and a martial talent that far surpasses ordinary people. Extreme cold absolute in physique. Nangon Maching understood that the extreme cold in body was the main culprit that caused him to become what he was today. However, he did not expect that it would actually allow him to obtain a large amount of cultivation and martial arts talent that far exceeded that of ordinary people. Hearing Jiyu's words, Nangonyu gradually recovered from his shock. Then, young master, what do you mean by the first stage? Nan Gongyu was a little concerned about the first stage of the extreme colding body that Ji Yu mentioned. He then asked, "Is there a second stage?" "That's right." Ji Yu nodded. "Not only is there a second stage, but there's also a third stage." This, Nan Gongyu was horrified. The first stage of the extreme colding body was already so terrifying. How could there be a second and third stage? Moreover, the 6th grade Great Heaven Mystic Yang pill could only solve the first stage of the extreme colding body. Then what kind of pills would be needed to solve the second and third stage of the extreme colding body? A 7th grade pill? An 8th grade pill? Or even a 9th grade pill? Nan Gongyu did not dare to continue thinking about it. However, the second stage of the extreme colding body will only erupt in half a year. Ji said at this moment. As for the solution, it would require a 7th grade pill. As for the third stage of the extreme colding body, it would require a 9th grade pill as the antidote. Half a year. Nan Gongyu was frightened. Only half a year. What should he do? It seemed that he could only pin his hopes on Ji Gongzi. Nan Gongyu seemed to have made up his mind. He knelt down in front of Ji Yu. "Young master, please save Ma Qing. Patriarch Nan Gong, you don't have to do this. I will save him if I can." Ji Yu helped Nan Gongyu up and said awkwardly, "With your words, I'm relieved." Nan Gongyu said gratefully. Nan Gong Ma Qing did not seem to care about his body constitution. He suddenly asked Ji Yu, "Are you leaving now?" "Yes." Ji Yu nodded slightly. "It is about time for me to go back. I will come back again if I have the chance." Nan Gong Ma Qing was reluctant to part with her, but he did not show it. "Thank you." Ding. Host has taken a step. Low-grade heaven movement technique 3000 clouds movement has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has taken a step. Low-grade heaven movement technique 3000 clouds movement has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. After leaving the Nangong estate, Ji Yu asked Xiao Gu to bring him to the Kanglan branch hall. On the way, he used his soul power to check if Jiang Yuechu and Jiang Yuexin were still in the Demon Beast Mountain range. Ding. Host has used soul perception. Soul power has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has used soul perception. Soul power has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Through her soul perception, Ji Yu discovered that Jiang Yuechu and Jiang Yuexin were still wandering between the outer and inner regions of the Demon Beast Mountain range. However, right at this moment, the soul rope on his body suddenly moved. Chapter 510. The soul rope started to shake violently. Sensing the soul rope's movements, Ji Yu released the soul rope from her sea of consciousness. A huge remnant soul floated in the air. "What's the matter, senior?" The remnant soul narrowed its eyes and looked at the Demon Beast Mountain range. Suddenly, it laughed out loud. "You are indeed fated with my clan." Ji Yu still didn't understand what Senior was talking about. The remnant soul continued. "I have recovered some of my strength. It must be because of this Demon Beast Mountain range." Ji Yu patted Xiao Gu's head. "Xiao Gu, let's go down and take a look." Xiao Gu didn't say anything. In an instant, they landed beside a lake in the Demon Beast Mountain range. Coincidentally, Jiang Yuechu and Jiang Yuexin were in the middle of the lake with their palms facing each other. Looking around, the surrounding moon essence was continuously entering their bodies. Ji Yu took a step forward. Ding. Host has taken a step forward. Low-grade heaven tier movement technique, 3000 clouds movement obtained experience points. 1 by 999 times. Sensing Ji Yu's aura, the two sisters suddenly opened their eyes. They slowly put away the cultivation technique. "Ji Yu, why are you here?" Jiang Yuechu and Jiang Yuexin said almost at the same time. They were very surprised. They didn't expect Ji Yu to suddenly appear here. "I heard from the mansion master that you were training here, so I came to see you." Ji Yu smiled and said, "Speaking of which, how is your training now?" The two sisters' expressions became serious. Their bodies were like lightning, flashing quickly in this forest. If it was an ordinary person, they would only be able to see their after images. However, In Jiyu's eyes, the two sisters' movement techniques were still ordinary. Although they are a little weaker than me, they are still very powerful. Jiyu gently patted the two sisters' heads. Suddenly, a long whistle came from the depths of the forest. Jiang Yuexin and Jiang Yuechu immediately took out their magic tools with vigilance on their faces. A figure flew out from the forest, and the trees on both sides collapsed. A demonic beast with an eagle head and a leopard body appeared in front of everyone. Looking at the four people before it, the demonic beast licked its lips as if it had seen some kind of delicious meal. Cold sweat appeared on the foreheads of the two sisters. Judging from the bony wings on the back of the demonic beast, this demonic beast had already reached the 3rd grade. From the probing sense, the two sisters felt that they could only fight against this demonic beast if they went all out. A rank 3 demonic beast. Why is there such a demonic beast here? Watch how I teach you a lesson. As soon as he finished speaking, a clap of thunder resounded in the air. He saw Jiyu take a step forward and throw out a heavy punch. He didn't know how many punches he had thrown. The 3rd-ranked demonic beast didn't even have the chance to cry out before it was torn to pieces. Jiyu took out the demonic core from the 3rd-ranked demonic beast body and threw it into their hands. Take this demonic core. You can get a lot of benefits from it. When the Jiang sisters saw that Jiyu's punch just now had killed a monstrous beast that they felt was incomparably dangerous, they were incomparably shocked. Jiyu had already shown his extraordinary talent for cultivation. Even so, killing a 3rd-ranked demonic beast with just one punch still shocked the two sisters. It was really too amazing. The two sisters felt as if their hearts were being thrown into turmoil. I'm going back to the royal city. You two could go back with me. Ji said. Okay. Jiang Yuechu and Jiang Yuexin nodded in unison. The next day, Jiyu and the two sisters returned to the royal city and arrived at the Qianyuan Martial Mansion. At this time, Ji had already left the Qianyuan Martial Mansion and was heading to the Alchemist Guild. He wouldn't forget the promise he made with Yu Shuyan. Ding! Host has used the low-grade heaven-level movement technique 3000 Clouds Movement. 3000 Clouds Movement has gained 999 times experience. Ding! Host has used the low-grade heaven-level movement technique 3000 Clouds Movement. 3000 Clouds Movement has gained 999 times experience. Soon, Jiyu brought Xiao Gu to the Alchemist Guild. However, he found that there was a crowd in front of him. It was noisy as if something had happened. In the middle of the crowd, there was a sedan chair pulled by 6 or 7 giant beasts. On the sedan chair, a seductively dressed man was hugging 7 or 8 beauties and drinking wine. Is this the Alchemist Guild? A few people wearing rainbow-colored robes walked forward. Yes, esteemed emissary of the planet of Malayo. As a superior 5th-rank alchemist, he would only be respected no matter where he went on this continent. He swaggered down and revealed the emblem on his rainbow-colored robes. The guards at the door were dumbfounded. Why would such a noble person come to our place? Yu Xian walked out with a few elders of the Alchemist Guild. Seeing her face covered in white sand, the Malayo star suddenly felt that the women who were sleeping on the same bed as him were not fragrant at all. No, it should be said that he was simply eating pig food when he went over. Everyone, this emissary has taken a fancy to you. Today, you will be my wife. Yu Xian didn't expect that when she saw a senior expert coming, she would be treated like this. Presumptuous. The elders of the Alchemist Guild couldn't stand by and watch. They directly channeled their Xian Qi and rushed towards him. Planet of Malayo's subordinates laughed in disdain. He had actually completely dissolved the profound energy without making a single sound. How is this possible? What's going on? Planet of Malayo laughed. This emissary came this time because I heard that there was a fairy-like woman here. I didn't make a mistake. Since you are unwilling, I will use force. This emissary likes to use force the most. Ha. Chapter 511. Do you think you have the right to touch my woman? Just as Mo Luoxing's hand was getting closer and closer, a thunderous sound rang out. A young man in black suddenly appeared. It's him. Yu Shiyun's eyes were filled with surprise and gratitude. Just now, Jiyu had only shouted, but she had already channeled her spiritual energy into Mo Luoxing's body. She had directly destroyed the spiritual energy of a few lackeys beside Mo Luoxing. Mo Luoxing's body emitted a rainbow-colored aura. He was a Tongxian realm expert. Jiyu threw a punch. Mo Luoxing laughed. You want to destroy my aura with just one punch? You're like an idiot. Before he could finish his sentence, the smile on Mo Luoxing's face froze. With a crack, his aura shattered into countless pieces. Ding! Host has thrown a punch. Intermediate Earth rank fist technique. Cloud slashing fist technique. Won by 999 times. Wait, don't kill him. Many messengers walked out from behind. An old man stroked his beard and said, This man is my disciple. Can you let him live? Give me some face. Face? How much is your face worth? Jiyu said disdainfully. How much is my face worth? Even if you're here, you won't dare to say that. As soon as the old man finished speaking, Mo Luoxing's head fell to the ground. The old men in rainbow robes widened their eyes in shock. You. What about you? You deserve to die for humiliating my woman. I'm in a good mood today, so I'll let you go. The old man was furious. As a superior grade, 5 alchemist, did he have to depend on someone else's mood to live? You're also an alchemist. Do you dare to compete with me? This old man was not stupid. He chose to compete with Jiyu on his own strength. If you win, you can take my pill formula. If you lose, you'll have to kowtow 3 times in front of my disciple's grave and destroy your own cultivation. However, if you don't dare, I can accept it. Why don't you just kowtow 3 times? The people nearby all knew of Jiyu's attainments in alchemy, so they couldn't help but feel that the other party was a little idiotic. They were all waiting to see this foreign alchemist make a fool of himself. Jiyu smiled faintly. All right. The foreign alchemist did not bring out his alchemy furnace. Instead, he opened his palm. A ball of fire began to burn on his palm. How is this possible? Following that, under the astonished gazes of the crowd, countless medicinal herbs were thrown into the raging fire. Soon, a faint green light emerged from the pill. It was just a very ordinary pill. Jiyu carefully observed the other party's palm, using her mental power to observe the other party's circulation route. Unexpectedly, the other party did not use a mysterious technique to produce flames. It was as if everything had originated from the jade bottle at the old man's waist. The pill had been formed, but the old man did not stop. Instead, the flame in his hand became even more intense. The radiance of the pill changed again. Jiyu also made her move. She casually threw out an alchemy furnace. You actually need an alchemy furnace to refine pills. The alchemists of the 7 great empires are only SOSO. However, in just an hour, the pill in Jiyu's hand gave off a faint medicinal fragrance. Everyone present was immersed in the medicinal fragrance, especially Xiao Gu, who could not wait to pounce on the alchemy furnace. This kind of pill was the most fatal attraction to the dragon race. Playing to the gallery, the old man shouted in disdain. The flame in his hand became even more intense. Unexpectedly, at this moment, the alchemy furnace on the field changed. A ray of mysterious light shot into the sky. It was as if there was a strong, attractive force, sucking in everything around it. Although the pill in the old man's hand was a supreme-grade pill, it did not have the protection of an alchemy furnace. The mysterious energy on the pill turned into a rainbow light and slowly flew into Jiyu's alchemy furnace. The heavens and earth have changed color. What kind of powerful medicinal pill is this? I didn't expect that there would be someone with such attainments in alchemy. The sky darkened. Jiyu gently patted the alchemy furnace. The lid of the alchemy furnace flew into the sky. A pill glowing with 7-colored light floated in the air. The pill slowly landed in Jiyu's hand. The old man looked at the pill in Jiyu's hand and sat on the ground with a thump. His face was ashen. This old man has seen a lot in his life, But to be able to see such a miraculous pill, even if I die, it will be worth it. Ji said indifferently. You admit defeat? The old man and the emissary behind him lower their heads. We admit defeat. We admit defeat. This old man has pill recipes for you to choose. Who would have thought that this group of alchemists from the outer realm would be so straightforward? In fact, if Jiyu had not killed Ma Yuoxing so straightforwardly, they would have gone crazy and killed him. I don't want anything else. I just want a small jade bottle on your waist. Hearing this, the old man was stunned. He did not expect that the other party could see through what he was using so easily. The old man took the bottle from his waist and handed it to Jiyu with both hands. He did not have the face to stay in the Demon Alchemists Guild anymore. He led the survivors and fled in a sorry state. Yu Xuyan looked at the man in front of her with an infatuated expression. She was saved by him time and time again. Suddenly, Jiyu pulled her into his arms. The surrounding crowd looked at them with envy. This ice beauty was high and mighty in the eyes of others. Only Jiyu could touch her at will. Yu Xuyan blushed and curled up in Jiyu's arms. You're back. Jiyu lifted Yu Xuyan's chin with one hand. This time, I'm here to fulfill my promise. Fulfill his promise. Yu Xuyan did not expect that happiness would come so quickly. Her eyes were filled with joy. It was as if there were only the two of them left in the world at this moment. Seeing that Yu Xuyan lowered her head and did not say anything, Jiyu smiled. Could it be that you're not willing now? Willing? Of course I'm willing. SSS, when has this ice beauty ever acted like this? It's really young Master Jiyu. Only he can create such a miracle. This time, Jiyu did not choose to let Xiao Gu bring them back. Instead, he rented a carriage and planned to accompany his fiancée on the way back. After leaving the Alchemist Guild, each person had a carriage. It was like holding a bag of gold and showing off in this land. On Blackwind Mountain, not far from here, a sneaky brat knelt in front of the fatty. The person in the hall had a wide body and a fat body. He took a bite of his drumstick and said excitedly, "Another big deal has arrived." Chapter 512. This fatty was originally a general of the Spirit Treasure Empire. He was persecuted by the Prime Minister and was forced to lead hundreds of elite cavalrymen into the Bedlam lands. Hundreds of elite cavalrymen were all at the Tongxian realm. Even so, they were forced out of the Bedlam lands and suffered heavy losses. They had no choice but to become bandits on Blackwind Mountain. They were the most troublesome existence for the local authorities. Xue Buping, who was also the fatty, had a good relationship with the various factions, so no one was willing to touch him. Xue Buping rubbed his big belly. Brothers, there's work at our door. On the main road, Jiyu closed his eyes and cultivated his mental power. Yu Xuyan and Xiao Gu were lying on Jiyu's body like kittens. Suddenly, Jiyu sensed hundreds of Tongxian realm experts lying in ambush on the nearby mountain range. Ding! Host has used soul perception. Soul power obtained experience. Won by 999 times. Even if the factions within a radius of hundreds of miles were targeting Jiyu, they would not be able to send so many Tongxian realm experts. Jiyu chuckled. He looked at Yu Xuyan and said calmly, "A good show is about to start." Then, he whispered in his Xiao Gu's ear. Xiao Gu laughed evilly, and then disappeared on the spot. The carriage entered a narrow valley. Suddenly, a cloud of dust rose, and hundreds of people surrounded the carriage. A soldier on horseback rode forward. "I opened this road and planted this tree. If you pass by, leave behind beautiful women, gold coins, and good herbs." Jiyu pulled open the curtain of the carriage. "Where are you heroes from?" Jiyu felt that it was a pity that such a large number of elite soldiers had become bandits. "We are from the Black Wind Mountain. Cut the crap. Leave behind your money or your head." "I don't think that's appropriate. You should ask your big brother." "Big brother?" The Tongxian realm experts looked at each other. Suddenly, Xiao Gu grabbed a fatty and threw him to the ground. "Big brother, how did you fall into their hands?" Xue Buping groaned. Jiyu removed the linen cloth from his mouth that came out of nowhere. "Bastard! Bandits! Shameless scum! Let me tell you, I have countless elite soldiers under my command. Jiyu knocked on Fatty's head, and he immediately became obedient. You're interesting. You're the ones who set up an ambush for us, but you call us bandits. I'm not convinced. If you have the ability, let me go. I'll definitely fight with you for 7 days and 7 nights. All right. Jiyu had never seen such an interesting person before, so she had Xiao Gu release him. Xue Buping looked at Jiyu with suspicion. Are you really going to let me go? Jiyu smiled and nodded. Xue Buping immediately turned around and left. It was as if a pair of wind and fire wheels had appeared under his feet. However, before he could run far, a hand suddenly landed on his shoulder. Jiyu had only used a portion of her strength in the cloud extinction palm technique, and Xue Buping fell to the ground. Xiao Gu lifted his leg as if she was dragging a toy and dragged him to the front of the carriage. After a long while, Xue Buping finally regained his senses. Despicable. Shameless. Bandits. Didn't I let you go just now? Let me go. But you caught me again. Then what do you want? I'm not going. You have to take care of my food and drink. I have nowhere to go. You saw it too. My brothers are all at the Tongxian realm. From now on, you'll be my big brother. Jiyu chuckled. This person was really interesting. With such a person accompanying her on the road, it would not be boring. Jiyu's palm strike had completely subdued this group of elite soldiers. Everyone was sincerely convinced that they could follow such an expert. Hence, after packing up, they set off in a grandiose manner. In Chaoyang Ancient City, a few guards saw that there were over 100 cavalrymen charging at them with an aggressive aura. They immediately reported. Jiang Zhongtian led everyone out of the city. They saw the word Ji on the carriage. There were very few experts with the surname Ji. Could it be? Ji slowly walked out of the carriage. Xue Buping urged his horse forward and shouted, Ji Gongzi is here. Open the city gates. The soldiers on the city gates took a look. As expected, Jiyu had returned. They immediately ordered people to open the city gates. The people in the city all looked at the group of soldiers who entered the city. Every one of them was a Tongxian realm expert. Not to mention Jiyu, who was in the carriage, was a genuine spirit, profound realm expert. Jiang Zhongtian looked at Xue Buping and the elite soldiers behind Jiyu. His eyes were filled with envy. At the same time, he rejoiced. Fortunately, both of his daughters were with him. Jiyu directly brought Yu Shuyun to the Alchemist Association branch. Under the congratulations of everyone, they set the engagement. When Jiyu turned 18, it would be the wedding day. The news quickly spread throughout the entire Chaoyang Ancient City. Countless young disciples named Jiyu as their idol, followed by the Jiang sisters. Now, with Yu Shuyun, there were spirit profound realm experts. What was the peak of life? This was the peak of life. Chapter 513. After the engagement was confirmed, Qin Sheng came to visit. He seemed to have a serious expression on his face. Seeing that he had something to say, Jiyu invited him to the side hall. With a flash of green light, a purple wooden box was placed on the table. Qin Sheng said politely, Little friend Ji, this wooden box contains the secret of our alchemist guild. It's a pity that I haven't deciphered it yet. Perhaps you're the only one who has this opportunity. Suddenly, the soul rope trembled. Accept it. The voice of the remnant soul came from Jiyu's mind. After Jiyu accepted the wooden box, Qin Sheng got up and left. After he left, Jiyu opened the wooden box. Unexpectedly, there was only a small piece of paper in the wooden box. Surprisingly, there was no pill formula hidden on the paper. The remnant soul phantom floated out and absorbed the blue thing inside. The power inside can replenish my soul. After the blue light disappeared, a map slowly appeared on the paper. This map showed a place that Jiyu had never seen before. This place is very familiar. It seems to be a place in the Azure Steel Empire, but I can't remember the exact location. Jiyu said calmly, All right, then let's go to the Azure Steel Empire. Under Xiao Gu's lead, they arrive at the Azure Steel Empire's Fengyu City on the second day. The people of the Azure Steel Empire made a living by making weapons, and they even compared people of other professions to trash. Here, weapon refiners were respected. The streets and alleys were filled with all kinds of lights all the time. The blacksmiths were shouting. The moment Jiyu entered the city, everyone's eyes were fixed on him. Suddenly, a child of about 17 or 18 years old walked over. He stroked his beard and said to Jiyu, "Little brother, did you make the clothes you're wearing yourself?" "No." When the child heard that it wasn't made by Jiyu, his eyes lit up. "Then can you sell this to me? I'm willing to buy it for 100 gold. 100 gold was very tempting. Many martial artists were willing to do things they didn't want to do. Who knew that what welcomed him was Jiyu's casual reply. "No need." The young man immediately walked away dejectedly. Right at this moment, a group of people walked out of a mansion not far away. Seeing the youth, one of the burly men shouted, "Look, that guy's over there." The burly man pointed at Jiyu. The young man shouted and grabbed Jiyu's hand. "Run." However, Jiyu shook off his hand. "I'm not the one they're after." The corner of the young man's eyes suddenly flashed. "Big brother, they're the ones who bullied me." Jiyu looked at him in confusion. Several burly men pulled up their sleeves. "Brat, I advise you not to meddle in other people's business." The aura of the Tongxian realm was gradually released from the seven of them. It was like a huge mountain pressing down on Jiyu. Even though the seven of them had just entered the Tongxian realm, they were confident that they would be able to kill a Tongxian realm expert together. However, under the pressure of this aura, Jiyu didn't move at all. He didn't even frown. "Brat, acting tough won't do you any good. Get lost. You're annoying." As soon as he finished speaking, Jiyu rushed into the crowd in the blink of an eye. He threw out several punches in a second. The cloud extinction fist technique landed on the 8 burly men. In a short moment, they exploded and died. Only the remaining young man let out a miserable shriek. Only the smell of urine wafted over from his body. He shouted, "I'll give anyone who can take him down a grade 3 magic weapon." After hearing this, many experts on both sides of the street took out their magic weapons and charged towards Jiyu. Jiyu grabbed the young man's collar. When he touched her, he felt a strange feeling. He looked at him in confusion. He thought that this brat was just a pretty boy. He didn't expect that he was actually a woman. However, he threw the woman behind him. Even though Jiyu wasn't afraid of the people in front of him, he couldn't bear to be bothered by so many mosquitoes. He directly released the aura of the spirit profound realm. Everyone stopped in their tracks. It was as if a body-freezing technique had been used on them. He's in the spirit profound realm. This person looks so young. He's actually a spirit profound realm expert. "Young master, we were wrong. Please forgive us." That's right. "Please treat us as farts and let us go." Jiyu said coldly, "Get lost." The young man landed on the ground. His hat fell down and his hair slowly fell. So he was a peerless beauty. However, who wasn't a beauty by Jiyu's side? The young lady stood up. She didn't know why this black-clothed young man looked so handsome and was so strong. Her face was slightly red as she walked in front of Jiyu. "Young master is really skilled. Thank you for just now." Jiyu wasn't interested in people who used others, even if she was a beauty. "If it's a next time, die." The young lady immediately shouted, "Young master, please wait." This young lady was wrong just now. However, this young lady has her own difficulties. The young lady's name was Dai Shui. Her family was a family that had been passed down for generations. However, in the generation of her father, Dai Tianin, there was only one female. In order to obtain the position of clan leader, several branch families wanted to marry her. The young man that was killed by Jiyu just now was Dai Shui's cousin. Now that her father was seriously ill, Dai Cheng wanted to seize the position of patriarch and forced her to marry him. Dai Shui escaped, so she was also a pitiful person. I'll let the previous matter go. If there's a next time, don't blame me for being impolite. Seeing that Jiyu was about to leave, Dai Shui anxiously said, "Young master, please wait." Just now, I saw that young master was an expert above the 8th level of the Tongxian realm. Dai Shui couldn't see through Jiyu's strength. However, from the way he killed 8 Tongxian experts, his strength was definitely not ordinary. How is it? Dai Shue's eyes immediately turned red. Coupled with her male attire, she looked very pitiful. Young master, can you accompany me home? Perhaps with your Xian energy, you can force the poison out of my father's body. She was worried that Ji Yu wouldn't agree. Dai Shui anxiously said, Marry me. I'm willing to accept the position of patriarch. Patriarch? Our Dai family has been master blacksmiths for generations. We can create invincible artifacts for you. Seeing that the other party was so anxious and that there were benefits, Ji Yu agreed. When the time comes, I'll just choose one artifact from your family. As for the marriage, let's forget about it. Could it be that this young master doesn't like me? Dai Shui didn't know why, but she felt unhappy. Chapter 514. Ji Yu accompanied Dai Shui to the front of the Dai Mansion. As the residence of the Dai family's master, Dai Mansion had lost all its vitality. Obviously, it was in decline. When a maid saw Dai Shui return, she anxiously came out. Miss, why did you come back? Dai Shui said, I invited a master to come back. The maid looked at Ji Yu and thought that although this person was very handsome, he was too young to be of help to the master. But the miss was so determined that she had no other choice. But Miss, Uncle, and the others are inside. Outside the door, a middle-aged man of about 40 or 50 years old came out. Well, Dai Shui, you still know to come back. The monk can run away, but the temple can't run away. I advise you to marry my son. Dai Shui gritted her teeth and looked at the man in front of her. I have found a husband now. She glanced at Ji Yu. He is my husband. The middle-aged man looked at Ji Yu and released a strong psychic power. He couldn't feel any change in Ji Yu's Xian Qi. Haha, it's just a nameless boy. Come, break his legs and drive him out. The two servants quickly gathered their qi and threw a silver dagger in Ji Yu's direction at the same time. The middle-aged man was smiling proudly. Suddenly, the two silver knives turned in the air and stabbed into the middle-aged man's legs. Only a scream was heard. The middle-aged man knelt on the ground. The servants were scared silly. They opened their mouths wide and couldn't make any reaction. The next moment, Ji Yu appeared in front of the middle-aged man and punched him in the chest. The rest of his servants were scared and knelt on the ground. Young master, we were forced to do this. Please let us go. Yes, he ordered us to do this. Ji Yu said lightly. You shouldn't ask me. Ask her. Several servants knelt in front of Dai Shui. We were wrong. We were all wrong. Please spare our lives, young miss. Get lost. Don't let me see you in Feng City in the future. Of course. Dai Shui glanced at Ji Yu, touched. Suddenly, a coughing sound was heard. Ji Yu and Dai Shui followed the sound and rushed into the room. Old Master Dai's body was covered in black gas. It was obvious that he didn't have much time left. Ji Yu released her spiritual power and covered Old Master Dai's body. The black gas on his body did not come from his main body. Following the black gas, he extended his spiritual power outwards and found that there were 4 small flags around Old Master Dai. Array formation? Ji Yu gently swung her hand, and the flag made a cracking sound. Then it broke apart. The black qi on Master Dai's face suddenly disappeared without a trace. Dai Shui excitedly laid on Master Dai's body. Father, you're finally all right. Old Master Dai was also very puzzled as he checked his body and found that there were no injuries. My dear daughter, what about your uncle? He has already been killed by this young master. Old Master Dai sighed. He only has himself to blame. Then, he cupped his hands. Thank you for your help, young master. This old man has nothing to thank you with, only this artifact. After speaking, a purple gold gourd appeared in Old Master Dai's hand. If outsiders knew about this purple gold gourd, they would definitely go crazy and even fight for it with their lives. Because this purple gold gourd had hundreds of arrays on it. It could easily kill people below the first level of the spirit profound realm. It was the Dai family's family treasure. Ji Yu unceremoniously accepted it. Ding! Host has taken a look at the purple gold gourd, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have successfully comprehended the method to create the purple gold gourd. Coincidentally, Jiyu also had all the formulas needed to make the purple gold gourd. With a thought in her mind, in the jade bottle obtained from Malayo Xing, a purple flame appeared. As a third-grade blacksmith, old Master Dai had seen all kinds of strange people in his life. Suddenly, he saw a flame appear on Jiyu's palm and was extremely surprised. Could it be that this young friend was also an alchemist? The purple flame in Jiyu's hand was strengthened by the profound energy on her body and burned even more fiercely. A small tower gradually formed in her hand and slowly burned into the shape of a gourd. Moreover, Jiyu is a 5th-grade lower-grade array master. The newly carved array was hundreds of times stronger than the original one. Now, even if a 4th-level spirit, profound realm expert appeared in front of Jiyu, he would not be afraid. Old Master Dai originally thought that Jiyu was only an alchemist. He did not expect that she was also an alchemist. Ding! Host has successfully created the purple gold gourd. Blacksmith Attainments has gained 999 times experience. Ding! Congratulations, host. Blacksmith Attainments has successfully broken through to the 2nd-grade middle grade. Young friend, you are indeed capable. I wonder what is the relationship between you and Shuer? Jiyu said indifferently. We can be considered friends. After hearing this, Dai Shuer lowered her head. She did not know why, but she felt that her nose was a little sour. Although old Master Dai did not know where Jiyu came from, he was able to create the purple gold gourd and was also an array master. He did not know how powerful her ability had become. Moreover, Shuer seemed to have feelings for him. I wonder if this young friend is interested in joining our blacksmith guild? Thank you very much, senior. Haha, how about we become friends? Old Master Dai stepped forward and held Jiyu's hand. The news of his recovery quickly spread throughout the entire Feng City. The Blacksmith Guild branch president and a group of elders personally came to visit. Gao Jian walked in with a sage-like demeanor, followed by a group of elders. After the two exchanged greetings, Gao Jian found that Jiyu was also present. He asked old Master Dai, This is a good friend of my daughter. Her name is Jiyu. Young friend Ji. You don't know, but young friend Ji is also an alchemist. What? Gao Jian and the other branch presidents looked at Jiyu. They could not see any xian qi fluctuation from her body. Well, this old man has a trial stone here. Alchemists have 5 attributes: metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Only those who have one attribute can be considered an alchemist. Jiyu, on the other hand, did not seem to mind. She placed her hand on the trial stone. The people behind looked at the trial stone. To be able to be valued by old Master Dai, she must be at least a genius. Jiyu gradually released her xian qi. She injected it into the trial stone. A burst of faint green light appeared. The wood attribute is not bad, and this color is at least the strength of a 2nd-grade alchemist. An old man said while stroking his beard. However, at this time, the trial stone that was originally emitting a blue light changed. The blue light suddenly disappeared. Chapter 5:15. What's going on? The blue light disappeared in a flash. Instead, it was replaced by a red light. This is the power of fire. It's really rare to have 2 attributes. Yes, we haven't seen such a genius in Feng City since 100 years ago. However, when the elders were surprised, the red light in front of them gradually faded. Could it be? Gao Jian couldn't believe it. Master Dai didn't dare to believe it, and the rest of the elders didn't dare to believe it either. Yellow, yellow. Earth. Power of earth. Look, it's blue. The power of water. My God, gold. The power of gold. 5 elements refiner. He's actually a 5 elements refiner. The Craftsmen's Union was like the 7 empires in the southern region. In Qinggang City, although they were all under the Union in name, no one was willing to submit to the other. Jiyu withdrew his xian qi. It took a long time for the elders to wake up from the shock. Gao Jian said excitedly, Little friend, I wonder if you can join our Feng City Craftsmen's Union branch? Ji Yu cupped his hands. Senior, this time I came to the Qing Gang Empire to look for something. As he spoke, he took out a wooden box from his body and took out a piece of cloth from it. When he saw the wooden box, Gao Jian said, I was lucky enough to see this thing. It should be in Kieran's hands. How could it be? Could it be that little friend is also an alchemist? Ji Yu nodded, yes. After hearing this, Gao Jian felt that he couldn't stand properly. Master Dai was even more excited. If Xiao Shui and Ji Yu could fulfill their wish, then their Dai clan would instantly become the #1 clan. Thinking of this, Master Dai said proudly, young friend Ji also refined the purple gold gourd himself. The array formation on it was carved by him. After saying this, the person next to him sucked in a breath of cold air. Craftsmen, alchemists, array masters, and they couldn't sense Ji Yu's Xianqi. What did it mean? It meant that Ji Yu was either a waste or had surpassed them. And he's not even 18 yet, right? This was simply too inconceivable. Wasn't this world a little too crazy? Looks like we're all old. At the same time, they quickly searched through their memories to see if they had any close relatives whose daughters were not married yet. If they could get Ji Yu's attention, they would be able to do so. Ji Yu, however, focused on Gao Jian's words. Senior, where have you seen him before? Gao Jian said faintly, I've seen this thing in our blacksmith guild. In fact, every guild keeps the same thing, and each of them has their own rules. Our rule here is that every 10 years, there will be a blacksmith general assembly. As long as you win, you will have the opportunity to comprehend it. Ji Yu's eyes suddenly lit up. I am willing to join your union. May I know when this meeting will be held? Coincidentally, in 3 months, the blacksmith convention will be held. But even if Ji Gongzi is a genius, he still needs to win in our guild selection. Second-grade blacksmiths were everywhere on this continent. Indeed, they didn't have the ability to participate in the blacksmith convention. However, if Ji could join their guild, it would be of great benefit to the future of Feng City. Most people could hear the benefits in Gao Jian's words. How long until the next blacksmith guild selection? 1 month later. Well, this junior will participate. Gao Jian coughed dryly. Even if little friend Ji is talented, but in such a short time. Ji Yu said faintly, Senior, we'll see you in a month. Seeing Ji Yu so determined, Gao Jian thought that it was a good thing for young people to gain more experience, so he didn't say anything more. He just took out a recipe from his arms. There was a pagoda carved on it. Ding, the host has read the recipe of the 7 orifices exquisite pagoda and mastered it. In a flash, Ji Yu memorized every detail in her mind. Gao Jian and the others said a few words and then got up to leave. Master Dai also planned to go back to his room to practice. Ji Yu suddenly said, Master Dai, I have a business deal. I don't know if you are interested. Business? Hearing this, Master Dai immediately turned his head. The two discussed for a while. Master Dai said that he would unconditionally follow Ji Yu's words. 3 days later, all the rich and powerful families in Feng City received a strange invitation. There were 3 big words written on the invitation. Distinguished Guest Hall, what did these 3 words mean? It meant that the people invited here were all distinguished guests. If they weren't distinguished guests, they would have to raise their noble feet and have a look at other places. Some people who didn't receive the invitation thought that they were from the rich and powerful families and bought the invitation at a high price. The invitation only said that there would be an auction of elixirs and magic tools, and all of them had to be paid with gold coins. Magic tools were not rare, but elixirs were something that every family was very eager to get. With elixirs, it meant that they could cultivate a genius in minutes. 3 days later, at the entrance of the distinguished guest hall, a row of well-dressed maids were waiting in front of the door. Their words and actions revealed their gentleness. Carriages came one by one, and a few burly men guided them to put down the carriages. When they entered, the distinguished guest hall was decorated with incomparable splendor. Generally, the auction would focus on elegance, but under Ji Yu's idea, it was as noble as it could be. The people who came felt that they had a lot of face. After they were seated, the auction medicinal pills were quickly swept clean. Next was the purple gold gourd. Of course, this weakened version couldn't be compared with the one in Jiyu's hand. It was completely made to gain experience. Under the stage, the eyes of the rich and powerful families were fixed. With such a treasure, who could invade their family in the future? The starting price is 10,000 gold coins. I bid 50,000. A big fat man stood up and waved the fan in his hand. Isn't that the young master of the Zhang family? Yes, I didn't expect that they would also participate. I bid 100,000 gold coins. The young master of the Li family. Oh my God, 2 of the 4 great refining families have made a move. Yes, they have participated. How can we dare to compete? You are too stingy. I bid 500,000. The Zhao family has also participated. I bid 1 million. My God, the Sun family. The Sun family has also participated. 4 major refining families have participated at the same time. What kind of treasure is this? Chapter 516. Looking around, everyone was looking at each other. The young masters were glaring at each other, as if they were all enemies. In the end, the Li family bought it for 8 million gold coins. Master Dai walked up to the center of the small stage. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. In Feng City, Master Dai's family was the most prestigious. Although the sun had already set, their foundation was still there. What kind of artifact was Master Dai going to introduce? Master Dai coughed dryly and clapped his hands. 4 servant girls in scantily clad clothes slowly walked out with a huge wooden box in their hands. The wooden basin looked squarish and was as long as 4 people put together. Master Dai walked in front of the wooden box with a smile. Everyone, please allow this old man to introduce the whirling staff. What? The Li family's young master was the first to stand up. The fan in his hand fell to the ground. The Zhang family's young master was also shocked. A few people sitting at the back asked, "What is this whirling staff?" You may not know, but this whirling staff is said to be an artifact left behind by a spirit profound realm expert. It has already gone extinct in this continent. Gone extinct? Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. This kind of rare artifact. How could it appear here? Master Dai was very proud. When he saw this artifact for the first time, his expression was not much more relaxed than these people. Although this kind of artifact had a crafting method, because of the required materials and the high requirements for the craftsman, even the Craftsman Guild's president could not successfully create it. Now, it actually appeared here. Many of the aristocratic family's children had ominous glints in their eyes. Suddenly, the atmosphere became very oppressive, as if a life and death battle would break out in the next moment. A few defensive, profound realm experts slowly pulled out their swords. However, at this moment, a terrifying pressure slowly came. It covered the entire VIP hall. Everyone was sweating like rain, drops of sweat dripping to the ground. This is the aura of a spirit profound realm expert. The number of spirit profound realm experts in the entire Azure Steel Empire can be counted on one hand. Who is it? Who is it? Those who dare to use martial artists die. Jiyu's majestic voice reverberated throughout the entire guest hall. The clan leaders of the few clans stood up and cupped their hands respectfully. Senior, please don't be angry. It's our fault for not being strict enough. That's right. Senior, please be tolerant. Jiyu, who was on the second floor, smiled. Whirling staff, starting at 50 million gold coins. Everyone's eyes widened. 50 million gold coins. This was simply going to bankrupt them. Jiyu's eyes were fixed on the leading family, the Sun family. The pressure on the Sun clan's clan head increased tremendously. Even with his Tongxian realm level 3 cultivation, he found it hard to breathe. 51 million. Under this pressure, the head of the Sun family could only shout out a bid. The other 3 patriarchs cursed in their hearts. You added so much at one go. Aren't you harming others? However, they soon felt the pressure from the Sun family's head. One bid higher than the other. In the end, it was sold for 80 million gold coins. If it weren't for the fact that this kind of treasure had been extinct for a long time on the continent, It was definitely not that low of a price. In Jiyu's mind, these people really didn't know what was good for them. The auction came to an end. Some people were happy while others were sad. However, boxes of gold coins were sent to the Dai family. Master Dai came to Jiyu with a smile. Little friend Ji, there's a total of 130 million gold coins here. According to our agreement, we'll split it 3-7. You get 70% and I get 30%. Jiyu raised his hand and waved. Master Dai, there's no need. Then, Jiyu whispered a few words in Master Dai's ear. The more Master Dai listened, the happier he became. Little friend, you're really smart. Days passed by. Every day, there was a steady stream of refining materials sent to the Dai family, and a steady stream of magic tools sent out. Many refining experts heard that there was a mysterious expert in the Dai family. They all came to the Dai family, hoping to join the Dai family. Ji was not afraid of those who came. Sooner or later, he would leave here. Only with these talents would he be able to earn a steady stream of gold coins. In the blink of an eye, 3 months had passed. At the entrance of the Blacksmith Guild branch, all the younger generation of the entire Feng City gathered here. Li Changqing could be said to be the most outstanding generation of the Li family. The surrounding young masters had to be respectful when they saw him. Sun Dahai snorted coldly. A bunch of bootlickers. Zhang Hong laughed. Brother Dahai, who is Li Changqing? How can we compare to him? Today, we're going to choose the most outstanding one among the 4 families. A merely family is nothing. I was wondering who it was, so it's the young master of the Zhao family. While the young masters of the 4 families were arguing, the rest of the young masters suddenly looked in the direction of the crowd. Dai Shui pulled Jiyu's sleeve and walked on the street. The houses on both sides are the craftsmen who forge materials. That's where our Blacksmith Guild branch is located. Don't you think it looks like a big iron hammer? Dai Shui jumped up and down and introduced the streets of Feng City to Jiyu, as if she wanted to tell him everything she knew. The veins on Li Changqing's forehead bulged out. He clenched his fists with a gloomy face. Sun Dahai, Zhang Hong, and Zhao Xiao also knew that a new master had recently joined the Dai family. They didn't dare to be too presumptuous and just walked forward with a smile on their faces. Isn't this Sister Shui? I don't know who this is. Dai Shui snorted and didn't pay attention to the 3 people. The 3 people knew that the Dai family was no longer a declining family that could be bullied by anyone. They just smiled awkwardly and didn't speak. Jiyu said, "Let's go in." Li Changqing came forward. "Wait." He stopped the 2 people and said to Jiyu, "It seems that you're also a blacksmith." "So what?" Li Changqing didn't have anyone talk to him like this before. However, as the most likely person to become the next president of the Blacksmith Guild branch, he naturally had to pay attention to his image. "Nothing. I just want to compare notes with you later." At this time, Gao Jian came out from the direction of the gate. The 2 people beside him rang the gong. Gao Jian said with a sage-like demeanor, "Welcome, young talents." This old man announces the official start of the Blacksmith Guild selection. Good, good. The people under the stage applauded. Gao Jian waved his hand. "Everyone, let's first assess your ability. Those under the 2nd grade don't need to participate." Sun Dahai and the others evaluated one by one, and the result was that they passed. Chapter 517. There were also many people who were judged as unqualified during the process. When he called Li Changqing's name, he looked at Jiyu provocatively. He walked in front of the testing stone. Triple attribute armament master, and his profound strength was of the Tongxin realm. All the onlookers were in an uproar. What an outstanding generation. Is this the person who will take over the branch in the future? His strength is really strong. Ah, young Master Li is so handsome. I want to marry him. Gao Jian smiled and invited young Master Li off the stage. Li Changqing was a little curious. Didn't Gao Jian try every means to accept him as a disciple? Why did he feel so cold toward him today? The people at the side shouted, "Next, Jiyu." Dai Shui's hand nervously clenched. Jiyu patted her hand and smiled. He walked in front of the testing stone. Seeing that Ji really came, Gao Jian thought that he really came to get experience. His talent was good, but his grade was still too low. Little friend Ji doesn't need to be tested. He directly passed. Gao Jian's words could be said to be like a stone that stirred up 1,000 waves. Everyone on the scene shouted out their objections. Based on what? That's right. Based on what can he be exempted from the test? Ji didn't refute, but gently placed his hand on the testing stone. Suddenly, the testing stone bloomed with a 7-colored halo. What? 5-attribute armament master. Heavens, isn't this something that only exists in legends? This is really too inconceivable. There were differing opinions, but those who were screaming to marry Li Changqing just now all changed their tune and shouted to marry Jiyu. Gao Jian said, "This is the reason why little friend Ji doesn't need to be tested." Li Changqing's eyes locked onto Jiyu's black clothes, only to see that there was no badge on it. Only those who have been recognized by the Armament Masters Guild could be exempted from a test. This guy doesn't have a grade? Haha, even if you're a genius, you're not my opponent. Li Changqing said seriously, "Brother Ji is really good, but we take priority here. Why don't you make a bet with me?" Ji wondered if this guy was an idiot. "What do you want to bet on?" "If I win, you are not allowed to approach Misty in the future." Ever since they found out that an artifact refining expert had come to the Dai clan, all the artifact refining geniuses in the city had set their sights on Dai Shui. Not to mention that he could build a relationship with an expert, just based on Dai Shui's red lips, white skin, and that wonderful figure of hers that occasionally liked to dress up as a man. It was enough to make these young masters go crazy. However, in the past, the family had looked down on this girl. Even if they had such thoughts in their hearts, they would not be allowed to do so. Now that he had such an opportunity, he naturally wanted to get close to her. "If you lose, what will you do?" When Li Changqing heard Jiyu's question, he almost laughed himself to death. "This young master is the city's #1 young refiner. How could I lose to you? If I lose, you can do whatever you want of me." Jiyu's lips curled into a smile. "You said it yourself. If you lose, the entire Li family will become servants of the Dai family." When Li Changqing heard this, he was so angry that he almost made a move. But because of the rules, he couldn't make a move. "Okay, if you lose, you will be my slave for the rest of your life." Jiyu only felt that the other party was childish. Gao Jian was afraid that the atmosphere would continue to worsen, so he immediately stood up and said, "Everyone, in this selection, we will give each refiner badge according to your results. Let's see how strong you are. We chose the treasure refined by the refiner master, Gudu, Songyun, the 7 orifices exquisite pagoda. We don't ask you to be 100% accurate. As long as you're the closest to the original, you'll be the winner." One by one, the fires in the furnaces lit up after the call to start. The first process of refining was to forge the iron. Everyone began to smash the iron. Jiyu took a step forward and hammered the dark steel provided by the Craftsman Guild. Ding! The host has hit the black iron, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have successfully comprehended the Gale Hammer. "Gale Hammer Jiyu," shouted in a low voice, and his whole arm exploded. With each hit, the entire floor, which was reinforced with Xian energy, gradually sank. Everyone present was shocked by the shaking of the floor and woke up. This is the strongest iron forging technique this old man has seen in so many years. It's rare to see in 1,000 years. God has mercy on my Feng City. Genius, no. Genius is not enough to describe him. This is a monster. Looking at it, Jiyu seemed to be invisible. Everyone only saw that the black iron in front of him was becoming more and more delicate. Next was to remove the impurities. Jiyu released the purple flame in the small J bottle. Together with Jiyu's Xian energy, the flame eroded the black iron in an instant. All the impurities in it were removed. Such an exquisite removal technique. This old man has lived for so many years in vain. Sigh. I wanted to accept little friend Ji as my disciple. It was this old man, no, I was too arrogant. If only little friend Ji could teach me a thing or two. Ji closed his eyes, and the precious weapon in front of him gradually took shape in the raging fire. Next, the precious weapon could be considered a great success. It was a pity that it lacked a process. That was the formation. Everyone felt that they would not see the reappearance of the 7 orifices exquisite pagoda today. Unexpectedly, Ji suddenly shouted. Snake-like runes gradually gathered on top of the pagoda. A dazzling light filled the entire hall. It made everyone unable to open their eyes. Everyone understood that the guest invited by the Dai family was none other than the young man in front of them, who was not even 18 years old. God, what was wrong with this world? Why was it so crazy? The light gradually dimmed, and the rest of the people stopped. Yes, there was such a monster here. What was there to compete? What's there to compete? They should all go home directly. Gao Jian announced the result. The people from the 4 families were about to leave, but Ji Yu suddenly asked, when did the Li family join the Dai family? Li Chongqing suddenly turned his head. Ji Yu, I advise you to leave some leeway in front of others so that we can meet again in the future. My master is an elder in the headquarters, and his strength has reached the 8th tier of the Tongxin realm. If he comes, no matter how strong you are, what can you do? The aristocratic families and some independent blacksmiths despised Li Chongqing in their hearts. He was the one who made the bet, but not only did he go back on his words, he even threatened others. No matter who it was, their disdain for Li Chongqing had reached the peak. Ji Yu chuckled and suddenly swung her hand, and one of Li Chongqing's arms flew out. Blood flowed continuously. Go back. If the Li family does not return in 3 days, we will exterminate them. Chapter 518. Ji walked out with Dai Shui without looking back. The people of the Weapon Craftsman Guild did not even look at the former genius Li Chongqing. Instead, they chased after Ji Yu. Gao Jian followed Ji Yu back to the Dai mansion. Ji Yu looked at him curiously. What's the matter, President Gao? Gao Jian glanced at the person beside him. That person immediately took out a 4th grade weapon craftsman badge. Ji Yu had been constantly making weapons for the Dai family to auction. Her strength had already reached the 4th grade lower-level weapon craftsman. Through a series of techniques, she was actually equivalent to a 5th grade middle-level weapon craftsman. However, he kept a low profile and did not say anything. After taking the things, President Gao and the others did not intend to leave. Ji Yu looked at them in confusion. What else does President Gao want? Gao Jian smiled awkwardly. Little friend Ji, no, Mr. Ji, I wonder if you can accept us as your disciples. Mr. Ji, please rest assured. We will definitely learn well and obey Mr.'s orders. All right then. When everyone heard this, they were so excited that they all knelt down and cowed out. We pay our respects to teacher. After a few days, Ji was about to set off for the capital of the Azure Steel Empire, Azure Steel City. All the weapon craftsmen of the 7 empires packed their luggage and set off for Azure Steel City. Before leaving, Dai Shui reluctantly called Ji Yu and suddenly bit his arm. I know you don't like me, but I want you to always remember me. When you see this scar, you will remember me. After saying that, Dai Shui ran into the Dai mansion without looking back. The journey was quite smooth. Finally, they arrived at the Azure Steel City. As soon as they entered the city, Ji Yu only felt 3 spiritual powers sweep over her body. The Weapon Craftsman Convention could be said to be one of the most important ceremonies in the Azure Steel Empire. Therefore, there were 3 great experts in the city. Goody Yun of the Gudu family, Xiao Ran of the Xiao family, Daoist Feng Yun, and the other 2 first-level spirit profound realm experts were all here. They were monitoring every single person who entered and exited Qinggang City. Ji Yu was stronger than the 3 of them, so when they saw that Ji Yu was just an ordinary person, they didn't pay much attention to her. Together with Ji Yu was the genius of the Li family of Feng City, Li Chongqing. He dragged his broken arm and knelt in front of an old man. Master, you must seek justice for your disciple. Your disciple's arm was crippled. The old man's expression turned ferocious. What? Someone actually dares to hurt my disciple. He slammed his hand on the table, causing it to shatter into pieces. Now that Li Chongqing had lost an arm, he would be a cripple in the future. He would not care much for a cripple, but this cripple was his disciple before he was crippled. Now that he was in such a state, wasn't it a slap to his face? Preposterous. Where is this person now? Li Chongqing cried out, reporting to Master, this person has already arrived at Qinggang City. Her name is Jiyu. Men, here, take your junior brother away and have a good rest. Yes, Master. The old man brought 7 or 8 people to the Iron Armor Hotel. Who called Jiyu? Get out here now, and I'll leave your corpse intact. The aura of a Tongxian expert suppressed everyone present. Jiyu had just arrived and found the Iron Armor Hotel. This was the place where all the blacksmiths would stay temporarily. You're so noisy. Get lost. Jiyu's voice drifted over. The old man immediately found Jiyu's location. He opened and closed his hand, and a huge iron hammer appeared. The iron hammer struck forward heavily. It was as if the air was about to shatter. The door of the hotel flew out, and the surrounding tables and chairs were in a terrible state. The blacksmiths who were originally in the hotel ran out of the room, but they were also affected. A Tongxian expert's essence, qi, and spirit were in one. His earth energy was extremely domineering. Jiyu's figure slowly walked out of the room. I gave you a chance. Get lost. The old man still wanted to say something, but as soon as he opened his mouth, he suddenly felt his body become light and flew into the air. What followed was a torrential barrage of attacks. The old man could not understand. His Tongxian aura could withstand his master's attacks for a period of time. Why did he feel like he was floating? The cloud extinction fist technique was extremely fast and domineering. In the blink of an eye, the old man's aura that could withstand thousands of soldiers and horses had disappeared. All the acupoints on his body were sealed. There was no hope for him to cultivate anymore. Jiyu's eyes widened as he prepared to deal the killing blow. Suddenly, a very anxious voice sounded. Young friend, please wait. However, Jiyu still attacked directly. The old man immediately exploded and died. How dare you kill my disciple? In an instant, the voice became extremely manic. It was as if someone had taken away something precious. Die. Thousands of flying swords flew over. The people who were watching the battle outside shouted in unison. It's Taoist Master Feng Yun. That's right, it's Taoist Feng Yun. Oh my God, who is that person? He actually made Taoist Feng Yun attack. Taoist Feng Yun was also sullen. He had sensed that something was wrong and rushed over as fast as he could. However, he did not expect that his disciple would be beaten to death in front of him. There was nothing he could do. If he did not kill this person today, how could he, Taoist Feng Yun, live in this world with a face? Go to hell. Myriad induction sword technique. In an instant, the world changed color as if it was shrouded by the sword light. Killing intent was everywhere. It was as if as long as Taoist Feng Yun willed it, a river of blood would flow. Ding! A crisp sound was heard, and the oppressive dark clouds seemed to have disappeared in an instant. What's going on? Everyone looked at the Iron Armor Hotel. It turned out that the black-clothed young man who had been motionless just now had swung his sword. Taoist Feng Yun was also stunned. He had never seen anyone who could neutralize his sword technique, except for the other 2 old men who were on par with him. However, this person looked so young. Jiyu said indifferently, "You don't have to leave." What? The people present wondered if there was something wrong with their ears. The black-clothed young man in front of them actually told Taoist Feng Yun that he did not have to leave. Who do you think he is? Is he your toy? Are you the one who can leave and stay just because you want others to? The other party is one of the 3 national guardians of the Azure Steel Empire, Taoist Feng Yun. They suspected that either they had gone mad or Jiyu had gone mad. However, Jiyu then told them that it was not them who had gone crazy, but the world that had gone crazy. Jiyu displayed a set of sword moves in an elegant manner. Ding! The host has used the 3rd style of the brilliant sun in the sky. The third style of the brilliant sun in the sky has obtained 999 times the experience. Chapter 519. Daoist Feng Yun's eyes widened. With a slash of the broken sword, the chi aura around his body was shattered. Even his spiritual power had been greatly damaged. Blood gradually flowed down from the corner of his mouth. An expert at the first level of the spirit profound realm was actually injured to this extent by a single profound skill. This was simply unheard of. At this moment, two enormous waves of mental strength swept towards this small inn. Although Ji was not afraid of trouble, she did not want to affect her next plan. "I'll stop playing with you here today." Ji and Xiao Gu looked at each other. Just as she was about to hug Xiao Gu, she suddenly turned around. Several of Daoist Feng Yun's disciples had just given him healing pills. Seeing Ji return, Ji was simply too terrifying, to the point that his few disciples were afraid of her. "What do you want to do?" Ji did not reply. She directly passed by the two of them and arrived in front of Daoist Feng Yun. Daoist Feng Yun was still recuperating with his eyes closed. He suddenly opened his eyes and quickly mobilized the profound strength in his body. Unexpectedly, Ji smiled and suddenly punched him. Immediately, Daoist Feng Yun flew out and heavily crashed into the wall. He fell to the ground, and more than half of the profound strength in his body had dissipated. Seeing that their goal was achieved, Ji and Xiao Gu turned around and left. In the blink of an eye, they disappeared without a trace. Gudu Yun and Xiao Ren only arrived after Ji left. The two of them looked at each other. "Daoist Feng Yun, how are your injuries?" Daoist Feng Yun dryly laughed twice. "Everything is fine. There's no need for the two of you to worry." Gudu Yun chuckled and placed his hand on his shoulder. It would have been better if he did not check. Once he did, he almost jumped in fright. Daoist Feng Yun's strength had actually fallen to the defensive profound realm. Wasn't this the same as his disciple? He wanted to say something, but he couldn't bring himself to say it. After seeing the situation clearly, Gudu Yun looked at Xiao Ren and shook his head. Xiao Ren immediately understood. After letting out a sigh, he said to Daoist Feng Yun, "I have some pills here. Mr. Feng Yun, please don't stand on ceremony and accept them." After saying that, he left with Gudu Yun. Looking at the pill in his hand, Daoist Feng Yun came to a realization. In the future, he would be excluded from the ranks of the top 3 experts. In fact, he would be reduced to an ordinary person. The disciples saw Gudu Yun's expression. He immediately understood. "Master, us martial brothers have discussed for a while and decided to go out and make a name for ourselves so that we can bring glory to Master." One of the disciples said loudly. The rest of the disciples also agreed. The pitiful Taoist wind cloud was still injured and left here all alone. When he returned to his own mansion, all the servants in the mansion left in a hubbub, and many of his treasures were stolen. The more Feng Yun Taoist thought about it, the angrier he got. He rushed into Li Changqing's room. When he came out again, the artifact was covered in blood. The matter of Taoist Feng Yun being crippled attracted great attention from the royal family of the Azure Steel Empire. He ordered Great General Gudu Yun to lead his elite troops to guard the streets. He would definitely not let anyone suspicious enter Azure Steel City. Ji produced a pile of artifact again. The people sent by Master Dai entered Azure Steel City with hundreds of empty boxes. The residents in the city were attracted by this grand ceremony. They all walked out of their houses to watch. "Hey, who are these people? I heard that they are people from Feng City." "People from Feng City? How capable can they be?" "Haha, that's right. From the looks of it, they are from the Craftsman Guild. I guess they want to open a shop here." Wishful thinking. After this group of people entered the city, they didn't open the shop immediately. Instead, they entered a mansion at the corner. In reality, Ji and Xiao Gu had circled in the air for a while before landing back on the ground. A relative of the royal family originally lived here. When Ji came and said that she wanted to buy this place, he felt that Ji was an idiot. But when Ji threw out 5 bags of gold coins from her storage ring, his expression changed. This place quickly passed into Ji-Yu's hands. Ji-Yu said to the Dai family's housekeeper, "Just modify it according to Feng City's model. They're artifacts that I made during this time in the house next door. Sell them at a lower price. Use the fastest speed to occupy the entire market." The housekeeper admired Ji-Yu to the extreme. Yes. The next day, in the artifact market, there were all the best artifacts that could be produced in the 7 great empires. Of course, this didn't include Ji-Yu's artifacts. The Dai family quickly set up a branch here. People from all over the world came to snatch them. It was as if these artifacts didn't cost money. The craftsman families from the 7 great empires and the scattered people were very curious. When did the Dai family have so many craftsmen? Furthermore, the artifacts produced by these artifact refiners were much more outstanding than theirs. In the Xiao family, Xiao Ran sat on the main seat. Below him sat 12 inferior 4th-grade craftsmen. Each of them was at the 8th tier of the Tongxian realm. The Qingyang Empire hasn't been peaceful recently. As he threw out a brick to attract Jade, the people below the stage agreed in unison. "I think the Dai family is a piece of fat pork. We have to swallow it as soon as possible." The Gudu family. The Dai family. Interesting. Pass my order to invite the head of the Dai family to a banquet. The Huang family from the Lingbao Empire. Send my invitation to the head of the Dai family. Looking at the mountain of invitations on the table, Ji-Yu smiled faintly. The Dai family's housekeeper asked, "Ji Gongzi, what should we do now? Help me send invitations to all of them and invite them to the Baiyue Tower." The Baiyue Tower was the largest restaurant in the Qingyang Empire. It was said that only the nobles and some wealthy families could go there to spend money. The masters of the various families heard that Ji-Yu was holding a banquet in such a place. They became even more vigilant. The next night, countless people came, and they all had worries on their faces. When all of them arrived, Ji-Yu changed into a green robe and slowly walked down from the number 1 room in heaven. Ji-Yu said faintly, "Hello, masters of the craftsman families. I'm Ji-Yu. Greetings, Ji Gongzi." "Greetings, Ji Gongzi." Ji-Yu continued, "The reason why I invited all of you here today is not for anything else, but because I feel that there are too many shops selling treasures on the streets. We should organize them. As the saying goes, the rarer something is, the more precious it is." Chapter 520. The rarer something is, the more valuable it is. Integration? Everyone was in an uproar. This wasn't an integration at all. She was going to swallow all of them up. Xiao Ran might be the head of the Xiao clan, but as the ancestor of the Xiao clan, he wouldn't attend such an event. Xiao Yi, who was seen as the future successor, stood up. "Integrate us? Ji Gongzi is too arrogant." The Huang clan also said, "That's right. If Ji Gongzi is only going to say such empty words, then please forgive us for taking our leave." The people from the Gudu clan didn't say anything. They just sat in front of the table and watched everything quietly. Everyone started to talk at once. Ji-Yu said calmly, "My plan is to gather all the blacksmiths in the shops and forge artifacts individually. We will also give them a certain title. In the future, only the shops that we approve can sell artifacts to the public." Everyone was in an uproar when they heard this. She wasn't just snatching their shops. She was also snatching the position of the blacksmith guild. When everyone thought of this, they all gasped. Ji-Yu said calmly, "Whether you agree or not, it's all up to you." Some of the aristocratic families saw the benefits and didn't say anything. The people from the Gudu clan and Xiao clan looked at each other. The blacksmith guild will always be controlled by the royal family. Now that you are doing something that is beyond the control of the blacksmith guild, no one will be able to control you in the future. Ji-Yu smiled. Blacksmiths still need the badge of the blacksmith guild, right? No. All of a sudden, a woman said softly. Everyone looked in the direction of the lady. When they saw her, they all cupped their hands and bowed. "Greetings to Princess Qingwei." Princess Qingwei was like a goddess from the snowy mountains. She was unreachable. Young General Gudu has already stated the dangers. If anyone agrees, they will be going against the royal family. Many aristocratic families agreed with Princess Qingyue's words. However, there were also many who sneered. If it wasn't for the three experts, the royal family would have long ceased to exist. The current royal family didn't have much power. Ji knew about this and came to Princess Qingyue. "Princess, can we have a chat in the side hall?" When they entered the room, Princess Qingyue accidentally stepped on her skirt. Ji immediately grabbed Princess Qingyue's hand and pulled her into his embrace before closing the door. Princess Qingyue had never been so close to a man before. What a warm feeling. What am I thinking? Princess Qingyue's face reddened as she pushed Ji away. She jumped 2 steps back like a little rabbit. "You, rogue, do you know that just because you treated this princess like that earlier, this princess can sentence you to death?" Ji smiled and said, "Princess, not to mention that no one in the Qingang Empire can kill me. Even if you kill me, you won't be able to reverse the decline of the royal family." Seeing Ji immediately hit the royal family's sore spot. "How do you know?" "Before I came here, I heard that the 5th princess is the most talented person in the entire Qingang Empire. Even so, she's only at LV, one of the Tongshan realm. General Gudu has already reached the peak of LV, one of the spirit profound realm, right? The Xiao family is Empress Dowager Zhao's relative." Chapter 521. So what? Princess Qingyue frowned. Every word Ji said was a sore spot for the royal family. And the root of all this is the blacksmith guild. As long as the royal family cooperates with me, the royal family will be able to control all the blacksmiths in the country. In other words, you could become my honorary president. Princess Qingyue's heart skipped a beat. "But how do I know if you will become the next blacksmith guild?" Princess Qingyue had unknowingly become me. "Of course not. I will not stay in the Azure Steel Empire forever." After hearing this, Princess Qingyue understood. The purpose of the royal family's existence was to be Ji spokesperson in the Azure Steel Empire. "How dare you scheme against a royal family? Your Highness, if you are not willing, I will still do it. But when that time comes, you will have nothing." With that, Ji released the aura of a spirit profound realm expert. Even the aristocratic families outside the door felt this inexplicable pressure. They lowered their heads. A spirit profound realm expert was someone that no one in the profound enlightenment realm could compare to. "I got it." Ji reached out and patted Princess Qingyue's head. "This means that our cooperation has come to an agreement." Princess Qingyue froze for a moment. At the same time, her heart was filled with warmth. She had never felt such warmth in the Wang family. Furthermore, her brothers had always wanted to get rid of her. Ji and Princess Qingyue walked out of the door. Qingyue said, "In the future, the royal family will officially cooperate with the Dai family's esteemed guest hall." Everyone's chopsticks fell to the table. "Big sister, you were the one who said that you wanted to reject. Why did you suddenly change your mind?" The young masters of the Huang family, Gudu family, and Xiao family gritted their teeth as they looked at Ji. This was because they saw a different feeling in Princess Qingyue's eyes when she looked at Ji. Apart from these 3 families, the rest of the families followed the royal family and joined Ji's plan. The next day, many shops closed. The business of the 3 families increased greatly. On the 3rd day, all the aristocratic families were anxious and came to find Ji one after another. Ji told them to spread the news that there would be a peak Grade 2 artifact being auctioned in 3 days. Furthermore, the entrance fee was 500,000 gold coins. Many aristocratic families were shocked. 500,000 gold coins. How many pills could he buy with that amount of money? However, a peak 2nd grade artifact was an extremely rare artifact. The wealthy families signed up one after another. In order to save money, they didn't buy any artifacts from the 3 families. All of a sudden, the 3 families didn't have any business for 3 days. The 4th day, the auction officially began. Ji had designated everyone's position. There were also some vendors who were selling uncertified goods at the side. All the aristocratic families took out their own product for auction. On this continent, there were battles happening every day. Every day, people would die. Every day, there would be people in need of treasures. No one bought anything for 3 days. Furthermore, all the aristocratic families took out their best treasures this time. After deducting the amount given to GU, there was still a lot of gold coins left. In the end, when GU's peak Grade 2 artifact appeared, all the aristocratic families went crazy. The price of the artifact was several million gold coins. GU counted today's earnings and sent a portion to the royal family. The Huang family, the Gudu family, and the Xiao family. Under the control of GU's aristocratic hall, their business plummeted. The three families joined forces. When Gudu Songyun heard the report, he stroked his beard. Our Gudu family only has 30% of our business left. Our Xiao family is even worse. We only have 20% of our business left. Elder Huang stroked his beard. Although our Huang family doesn't have much business in the Azure Steel Empire and isn't affected, if this continues, Gudu Songyun said indifferently, we shouldn't let the aristocratic hall continue to be so arrogant. However, GU's strength might not be below the two of us. I heard from the younger generation that GU's strength is close to that of us old men. That's right. Elder Huang stood up and said with disdain, this old man has just stepped into the spirit profound realm. With the three of us joining forces, even if he is a spirit profound realm expert, so what? With us joining forces, he is not our match. After he finished speaking, early the next morning, the door of the aristocratic hall slowly opened. The waiters walked out from inside. Recently, since they had accepted this job, their days had been getting better day by day. And all of this was brought to them by GU. Just as they put the door to the side, many people suddenly walked out of the door. When the waiters saw these people, they felt that they were not simple. These people pulled up their sleeves. Brothers, from today onwards, we will take over. Chapter 5:22. When the waiter heard that these people were here to cause trouble, he immediately stepped forward and said, this is G. If you don't scram, don't blame me for being impolite. Ha ha, you want to fight with us? That person waved his hand. Suddenly, a few people beside him immediately rushed forward. The waiter was just an ordinary person. How could he be a match for them? After a few exchanges, his face was already bruised and swollen. The waiter shouted loudly, someone is here to cause trouble. Someone is here to cause trouble. The people in the aristocratic hall all walked out. That person said indifferently, you heard it. I am Gudu Songyun's grandson. If you don't want to die, hurry up and scram. A brother of the aristocratic hall said, if it wasn't for Ji Gongzi, how could we live such good lives? Brothers, let's attack together. Even if they were not a match for him, they were determined to protect the aristocratic hall. Jiu opened his eyes and walked down from upstairs. He was like lightning. In a flash, he appeared in front of everyone. The few troublemakers in front of him were all sent flying. Gudu Songyun's grandson saw that Jiu was actually so strong. With one strike, he sent several people flying. His heart couldn't help but thump. He swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Don't mess around. My grandfather is Gudu Songyun. He is the great general of the Azure Steel Empire. Jiu sneered. Behind him, Xiaogu also had a cold expression. With a crisp crack, Gudu Songyun's grandson was sent flying from one of his arms. Jiu quickly lashed out with a kick, landing on the opponent's leg. Another leg was sent flying by Jiu's kick. Gudu Songyun's grandson fell to the ground and let out a wail. Help! He rolled on the ground, howling in pain like a dog. Still not scramming? Gudu Songyun's servants carried the young master and returned to the Gudu residence. Is what you said true? Gudu Songyun asked the servants. Yes, master. In the blink of an eye, the young master was beaten to this state by Jiu. Master Huang and Xiao Ren both stood up from their seats. Looks like this kid's strength isn't ordinary. Gudu Songyun said, this child is a threat to the existence of our Qing Gang Empire. If we allow him to continue growing like this, the consequences will be unimaginable. Old Master Huang said, "Isn't the blacksmith conference in a few days? This kid is definitely an artifact refiner. We can wait until the time comes to tamper with it." Ow! Gudu Songyun asked. His own grandson was crippled, so how could he not be angry? If we tamper with the materials, wouldn't this Gu be? Ha ha ha! That makes sense. When he is at his weakest, we will send assassins to kill him. Exactly. A few more days passed. The grandest refiner assembly of the Qinggang Empire officially opened. Many of the leaders of the scattered forces participated in the competition, waiting for the winners of the Weapon Craftsman Conference or the birth of some geniuses. After the president of the Blacksmith Guild shouted, "Begin!" Gu and a group of people who came to participate in the competition walked up to the ring one after another. Flames of various colors burned fiercely in the ring in an instant. Only Gu and an old man had yet to make a move. The people of the major forces in the crowd began to discuss. An old man in his 60s is actually participating in the competition with a group of young people. It's simply a joke. Isn't this bullying? That's right. Shameless. At this moment, the old man began to work and quickly struck the iron. Soon, the iron in front of him was refined to the size of a finger. He actually has such an iron refining technique. It's really amazing. Look at the clothes on his body. Yes, there's a badge on his clothes. He's a 5th grade artifact refiner, the same level as the president of the Blacksmith Guild. Gu also began to work at the same time. Soon, the 2 pieces of black iron were burned to the size of a chopstick in a short period of time. A piece of black iron that was even bigger than a table. He actually refined until there were only 2 chopsticks left. Look, only a 5th grade artifact refiner can do this. Even if there's a special training method, it's impossible to turn such a strong piece of black iron into a chopstick. In the entire southern region, I'm afraid no one can surpass him, right? The black iron in Gu's hand emitted a dazzling light. Soon, a 4th grade artifact was born. A 4th grade artifact also appeared in the old man's hand. However, when comparing the two, the artifact in Gu's hand was clearly much stronger than the old man's. Suddenly, Gu realized that there was a profound energy fluctuation on the artifact that did not belong to her. Gu took a step back. The peak of the 3rd level of the spirit, profound realm, suddenly covered her body. A loud rumbling sound rang out. Suddenly, the artifact in Gu's hand exploded. Everyone present looked in Gu's direction. When the smoke dispersed, Gu was actually unscathed. On the other hand, his opponents were all affected. The artifacts in their hands exploded one after another. Chapter 5:23. The old man, who had been called worthless by everyone, was standing at the side and was not affected. "Ha! No matter how strong you are, the champion is mine." The president of the Blacksmith Guild also walked out. He announced to the crowd, because Gu's artifact exploded, the artifacts of the others also exploded. Only Xiao Feng's artifact is still intact. I declare the winner of this competition. Gu stood out. Wait, the president of the Blacksmith Guild, Xiao Biu, was an elder of the Xiao family. Gu's aristocratic hall had seriously infringed on the interests of the Blacksmith Guild. In addition, Gu had embarrassed the younger generation of the Xiao family at the banquet. A dignified man was actually defecating in this kind of situation. If this spread out, the younger generation of the Xiao family would be laughed at. Thinking of this, Xiao Biyu said, there's only one incense time left. No matter what, you can't turn around." Gu said indifferently, "As long as the time is not up, we won't be considered to have lost." Ridiculous. If you don't believe me, you can ask the audience. Everyone shouted in unison. I support it too. Yeah, if the time is not up, how can it be counted as the winner? It seems that the Blacksmith Guild is also going to decline. Xiao Buyu's lips curled into a cold smile when he heard everyone's words. They had originally planned to use the championship to scheme against Gu. If they wanted to court death, would they drag him down with them? Xiao Buyu pretended to be generous and waved his hand. Good, since everyone is saying so, this old man will see what little friend Jiyu can do. After saying that, Jiyu took a step forward. Suddenly, the purple flame in her hand flourished. She injected her Xian energy into the purple flame. The flame was like a fierce dragon that quickly devoured the black iron in front of it. Immediately after, the flame in Jiyu's hand, when removing the impurities, actually turned the black iron into the shape of a pagoda. Jiyu covered the artifact with her Xian energy. On top of the black iron chopsticks, there was an array formation. It's actually a rank 5 prized artifact, 1 rank higher than the one before. This is unbelievable. That's right. We don't even dare to imagine such a treasure. Xiao Buyu's face darkened. This old man announces that this year's champion is... Wait. Gudu Tsongyun, Xiao Ran, and Old Master Huang walked onto the stage at the same time. Xiao Buyu's lips curled into a faint smile. This man has threatened the Blacksmith Guild and even bewitched the royal family. He should be executed. Gudu Tsongyun shouted righteously. Over 100 armored soldiers walked out from the two sides. Clearly, they were all at Tongxianrel Pinnacle. Jiyu said indifferently, "What do you want?" Old Master Huang snickered. "The explosion of the artifact earlier must have injured you." In addition to the forging of the 4th and 5th grade artifacts, you don't have much profound energy left, right? Ding. Host has used Xian energy. Martial arts cultivation has gained 999 times the experience. Ding. Congratulations, host. Martial art cultivation has successfully broken through to the 4th level of the Spirit Profound Realm. Just now, Jiyu used less than half of her Xian energy. In a short moment, she broke through from the peak of the Spirit Profound Realm to the 4th level of the Spirit Profound Realm. Jiyu smiled faintly. "What do you want?" Old Master Huang stroked his beard. "As long as you obediently hand over the aristocratic hall, this matter will be settled." "No," Gudu Tsongyun said with a sinister expression. "You crippled my grandson. If you cripple your own legs today, this matter will be settled." "Are you daydreaming?" Jiyu's tone was cold. Gudu Tsongyun laughed. "Then don't blame this old man for helping you." A few golden armored soldiers flashed onto the stage. The warrior below the ring extended his long spear and walked up the ring step by step. Shaoran smiled. As expected of the 12 golden armored knights and the 100 war cavalry, Old Master Huang praised from the side. Gudu Tsongyun's 12 golden generals are indeed extraordinary. The leader of the 12 golden armored soldiers shouted, "Jiyu, obediently come out and accept your death." Jiyu sneered. Her figure flashed and disappeared from her original spot. He shuttled through the 12 golden armored warriors and landed punch after punch on their stomachs. Ding! Host has used Cloud Extinction Fist Art. Cloud Extinction Fist Art has obtained 999 times experience. The 12 golden armored soldiers were still imposing just now. At this moment, the chi aura on their bodies was shattered. Even their armor was shattered. The surrounding spectators were all shouting in their hearts that they deserved it. As the upper echelon of the Azure Steel Empire, they actually dared to steal someone else's aristocratic hall. Now that they were beaten to death, they deserved it. The hundreds of war cavalry quickened their pace. Even experts at the 1st level of the Spirit Profound Realm would not be able to break through their encirclement. Jiyu directly jumped up and waved her fist 10 times. She used her Xian skill again. Rows of 100 war cavalry flew out like kites. Too shocking. This scene was really too shocking. Hundreds of elite soldiers were not Jiyu's match. The remaining few people took a step forward one after another. Now, their hands are sweating like rain. They did not know what to do. Burning wave blade technique. Countless blade lights directly cut through the sky. The sky seemed to be torn apart. The 100 war cavalry fell one after another. Gudu Tsongyun clenched his fist. "How dare you? My Azure Steel Empire's most elite soldiers all died in your hands. Give me your life." Old Master Huang shouted. "Old Master Gudu, Our Drunken Moon Empire will definitely not leave this matter alone. Jiyu, hand over your life. Xiao Ran said heavily. You bewitched the royal family. You deserve to die. The three of them moved forward at the same time. Drunken Life, Gale Blade Technique, Griffin Fist. The three of them directly used their most famous Xian skill. The surrounding boulders turned into powder in a short moment. Everyone sighed. Looks like my Azure Steel Empire's rarely seen expert in 10,000 years is going to die here. An elder of the Blacksmith Guild sighed regretfully. The remaining blacksmiths all had strange thoughts. Boom! A huge explosion rang out in the small arena. After the smoke dispersed, Jiyu's figure did not appear here. He was actually beaten to the point where not even a speck of dust was left. Looks like there's not even a speck of dust left. What a pity. A genius is gone just like that. Everyone's face showed a trace of pity. Master Huang, Xiao Ran, and Gudu, Song Yun all laughed out loud. Ha ha ha. Jiyu brat, did you see that? This old man has avenged you. Go and receive the aristocratic haul immediately. That you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.